darling YouTube creators community, because you have arrived. There is a cosmic restructuring going on right now, and many of you have been sharing with me you may feel a little stuck. We still have a few planets that are hanging out in that Pisces energy, but Aries season is upon us, and those planets will be making their way into Aries, along with having a Saturn and Pluto sextile, okay? And this is hearkening back to the 2020 Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So what it is though now is a sextile is harmonious. We get to actually rebuild, okay? We get to rebuild as new world warriors the reality that we want. But it takes support, it takes community, and it takes consistency. So join me here at Creators on the Crest for today's episode of Frequency Friday. We've got readings for all 12 zodiac signs, okay, including your Major Arcana card. I'm going to be highlighting that for every sign. Now, I always read with the intention that you check out your sun, moon, rising, excuse me, rising and north node energies, okay? So we're gonna get started here. We're gonna let the vibes go out, take a little sip of our coffee here. And if you're joining in and you can hear me, say hello in the live chat. I would love to hear from you. Maybe drop your sign in there, your sun sign, or if you're feeling your moon sign today, let me know that. We're going to be going deep into the astrology, and we're going to be going deep into a tarot reading for every sign today. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But I know a lot of you have been feeling stuck. You've been feeling a little stuck. You've been feeling a little bit like it's hard to move through some of these energies, and that is also valid. We're going to be authentic here, okay? Tressa from Yourself Evolved is here. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Let me know in the comments if you're here, if you can hear me. Maybe drop your sign in, say hello. Hello, hello. If you're looking for that high vibe community where you can be seen, heard, supported through the energies, then you found the right place here at Creators on the Crest, okay? So I am so happy to have everyone here. Welcome, welcome to Creators on the Crest. We're going to be getting into some really great energies today. Definitely grab your coffee, grab your tea. We're going to be getting messages for the collective. These are collective readings we're doing today. We've got a whole oracle reading mapped out. I'm going to go into the astrology. This is astrology and tarot blended, so please do keep that in mind. We're going to be looking at both aspects and how we can improve and better our lives and kind of get through some of this stuck energy that some of us have been feeling. So let me know you're here. Say hello in the chat. Say hello in the chat, please. I'd love to see you say hi and to also see what your sign is or what sign you'll be listening for today. Maribel, hello. How are you today? Welcome. You're a Scorpio sun, Leo moon, and an Aquarius rising. And it's your first time here? Well, welcome. Welcome. I hope you can hang out for a little while. And not to worry, you know, we will have the replay up as well. But I would love for you to hang out live because that's where all the magic happens. And Maribel, I'm also an Aquarius rising. So yeah, we've got a big transit right now going on with Saturn and Aries at 5 degrees is sextiling, which is a harmonious transit. Pluto in Aquarius. So some of our Aquarius sun, moons, and risings are going to be feeling that energy right now. And hopefully in a good way. Hopefully it'll kind of mix things up in a good way for us. Yourself Evolved, Gemini sun, Cancer moon, and Sagittarius rising. See, we've got some of this fire energies coming up in some of you as well. I love it. What a nice blend. It's very interesting. Maribel has a water, a fire, and an air in the placements there. And Tressa from Your Self Evolved, Gemini, air, Cancer, water, and Sagittarius, fire. Nice blend of elements. I like that blend of elements, ladies. Sometimes we can lean into that. When we have a nice blend, we can go into the elemental energies as well, which I'm going to do a few reminders here before we get started. But if you haven't gone to my website at creatorsonthecrest.com and signed up for the newsletter, be sure to do that. I have an audio activation library. Okay, so it's a series that is a living vault. All right, so I'm building it right now, but I have a founder's price attached to it. So I just want to put that out there. And I've done episodes for the Fool and the Magician. Now you can see if you're like into learning that energy by watching the videos that I have here on YouTube that I release every Wednesday. They're really short, so they're easy, like digestible amounts of information. And I've done one for the Fool and the Magician. And up next is the High Priestess. So I'm really excited to add that one. But make sure you sign up for my newsletter on the website. Make sure you're connected with the community. I also offer specials and deals through my newsletter just for that community. So you definitely want to make sure you're signed up for that. It's creatorsonthecrest.com. And the site is still, I'm still restructuring. I'm still doing some things there. So do be patient with me, but you should be able to hit that homepage and go right down and get subscribed to the newsletter. And you'll start to get those. I don't try to bombard people because I know how it feels to have a full email box. So my newsletter comes out every couple weeks. And then if you sign up for something, of course, or there's a special event, you would get an extra email. But I'm not one of those, you know how you open them sometimes like every other day, something's popping up and you're like, okay, I already know that. That's not me. Okay, Maribel says, oh, you have all the fixed. Yes, Maribel, in the fixed sign energies sure do. Hey, do you know what your north node is? And yes, the information is all in the description on the video below. So you should be able to scroll down in the description and click the website link or any of the links that are in there that you're curious about. Yeah, fixed sign energy. I'm curious now what your north node is, because the way I read for sun, moon, rising, and north node when I do the signs. So you can actually listen to your sun sign reading, your moon sign reading, your rising, and your north node, and you kind of get like a foundation. Kind of gives you those kind of four-corner foundations where you can really see how one energy or another might be more prevalent in your life. And then also, if you're someone who is more intermediate to advanced in astrology, you can also, of course, like, okay, I've got Jupiter in this sign. I really want to check out that reading, right? And you kind of put the picture together. Okay, so you got a little bit of flow there in your north node. Interesting, with the Pisces energy, Maribel. Nice, nice, nice. Tressa, what's your north node? Have you told me before? I can't remember. Let me know. If anyone else has joined and you want to drop your sign in the chat, let me know. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I do want to let everybody know that while today is collective, so I'm not taking personal questions today, sometimes the readings can still feel personal. Use your intuition, trust what resonates and what doesn't. But if you'd like to get a free mini reading, I do those every other Sunday night. And my next two live Q&As, it's going to be 7 to 8 p.m. Central. So if you're subscribed here on the channel, it is a subscriber event, and you hit that notification bell, you'll get all the notifications and you won't miss it. Okay, so the next one is on April 5th and then April 19th, which will be here before we know it. So April 5th and April 19th, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time Zone. Okay, those are great fun. The community is so supportive. People come on, they put their question or theme in. I suggest coming in a little bit early, closer to the 7 p.m. hour if you can, because I fill up quick, and I usually miss some people at the end. So, and I hate that, but like sometimes, you know, it just happens. And but that's something I love to give back to my community with, and you get kind of your little question answered or your theme, or you maybe get a heads up. And even if you don't have like, you're like, oh, I don't know what to ask, you can come in and ask for like your highest and best message, or what messages your spirit guides have for you, or maybe one of your ancestors. And then for the ladies also, in the description and on my website, I have under courses, I have that Fire Horse Rising Temple replay. So it was a live masterclass webinar that I did when we transited into the Fire Horse season back in February, was it? Wasn't it? And so it's an hour and a half long. It's an immersive, meditative embodiment experience, and it's called the Fire Horse Rising Temple, and it's on my website as well. The replay is available for like the price of a coffee that you would get at Starbucks, okay? So you can check that out. That's for the ladies. We embody the Queen of Wands. We meet our fire horse. It was a very personal and deep experience, an intimate experience for everybody. And we got just really lovely feedback on that. It was, you know, I met my own fire horse, and just amazing to connect with the energy. We're connecting with this energetically. It's just so nice to be in those energies, and then kind of like propel them into your year, right? Like really move forward with these empowered, strong Queen of Wand energies, right? Because we are feeling the other stuff too. We're feeling the stuckness, and we're feeling the like, should I just stop? Should I give up? And we still have some of that energy going on. So the more tools you have and the more ways to empower yourself, the better. And so there's lots of stuff. So on my website on courses and in the description below, you've got links to the audio library. You've got links to the Fire Horse Rising. If you go to the website, can get on the newsletter, all sorts of exciting stuff. And I am working on building a membership, okay? And it's a lot. It takes a lot to build a membership, but it's going to be so amazing. And that's where the real magic, I think, is going to happen, because that's more behind the scenes, right? That's more get in a supportive community together. So watch out for that women's membership that's going to be coming up. Make sure you're on the email list. Okay, I've definitely ground that into the ground there. So we will continue on. So I just want to share a little bit before I get started. My family just experienced a loss of a family friend, and a few days ago in a private plane crash. And so I just like to dedicate today's segment to Harvey Cleveland. Rest in peace. I'm feeling a little emotional here. He was quite an exceptional person, definitely part of my kids' lives, and had children of his own, and he was 55. So we're feeling that, we're missing it. I know some of you have shared with me, I've got messages from some of you that some things have gone on lately, or you just feel kind of stuck, and it's hard to move through some of these energies. And I just want to acknowledge and be authentic about feeling whatever you need to feel, okay? And if it's periods of grief, or you know, you're having a little bit of depression, you know, try to let yourself work through that energy and use some of your tools, whether it's exercise, drinking more water, you know, just going on a walk in nature. Try to use some of those tools to help you, because the last few days, especially, people have told me they've been feeling a little like off, like something's off. Some of this, now this all ties into the astrological elements that are going on right now. We've got Saturn in Aries, sextiling, which is a positive thing, harmonious, Pluto in Aquarius, but it kind of reflects back to 2020 energies, where we had the lockdowns. Saturn was in Aries, and Pluto, they were conjunct. Okay, so some of us have been feeling lately like, oh my gosh, is, you know, like, and then we look at the global stage and we look at the world stage, and we're like, you know, kind of feeling those like energies again. But if you peer a little bit deeper, if you take a little moment longer, okay, to realize that now we're in a sextile energy here, and this means A sextile is a 60-degree angle. So Saturn in Aries, 5 degrees, sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. Any positions and planets in your own personal charts close to those 5 degrees, within a little bit of a degree point on either side there, is going to be important to look at. So you can look at your own charts and see, like if you're Aquarius rising, you might want to see where your rising position is. How close is it to that transiting Pluto in Aquarius, all right? Because that's going to influence how much you might be feeling stuff. So your self-evolved is saying like, yeah, I thought it was just me. No, there are these cosmic energies, there's these transiting energies, but also how you interpret it personally will depend on your chart. Kim is here, Cancer, yay! I'm a Cancer sun too. And what's interesting is my Saturn actually isn't in Aries, it's in Cancer as well. So, and this is just how we put stuff together, right? When you learn about yourself, you can look, what else do I have in Cancer going on there? So if I don't live my soul spark, Saturn is kind of that drill sergeant, that coach that comes in and says, you gotta live your soul spark. Your sun sign is your soul spark. So you've got to incorporate that. And if you're not taking care of yourself, I'm going to let you know, right? So that's how these energies, can impact us. Sometimes we know that something's impacting us, but we don't have the words to put it into. And that's where, knowing your own personal chart can be really helpful. On astro.com, you can put your information in and pull your chart. You can pull your transiting chart so you can see, okay, where are these planets that are going around? How are they affecting me and my chart? You can start to put it together. Just take it piece by piece because astrology can get a little overwhelming. But today, for our oracle reading, we're going to be going into the Sabian symbols connected to this 5 degrees Saturn in Aries and also the 5 degrees Pluto in Aquarius. We're going to go into the Sabian symbols for the oracle reading, okay? Now, also just knowing that Venus has been with Saturn and Neptune there in Aries, but Venus is entering Taurus. We'll be talking about that. It's happy there. I actually did address that in my Astrotarology long form video from Monday. It's about 45 minutes. Grab a cup of tea for that one. So lots of, free content for you to access on here and learn and kind of like really look at like how your intuition was already telling you something, and then you watch something like on YouTube and you're like, oh, that's what that is. I knew that, but you don't know. And that's what I try to help uncover for people when I do my lives and my different segments. So, you're feeling it, you're feeling this energy, you're feeling the pulse, but sometimes it's hard to make that connection to your conscious mind of like, how's this really affecting me and what can I do to move through it? So lots of good topics of conversation there as well. If you're joining, make sure to drop your sign in the chat or say hello as well. Welcome to Creators on the Crest YouTube channel. We still have that Mercury retrograde in a post. It's in a post shadow right now. So, that can kind of affect us too and kind of keep things a little bit, what's the word? A little bit shadowy or a little bit like, I can't move through this energy, right? Or I'm having trouble moving through this energy. That's that post shadow and Mercury being in Pisces still. In April, Mercury and Mars are entering into Aries. Mars is really happy there. Venus is going to be in Taurus. So we have the masculine and feminine energies feeling more active, feeling good. So, use your self-care, use your tools, hang on, because I think you're going to be feeling like you have more momentum here in just a few short weeks. We've got a full moon in Libra coming up. That should be a little bit of a balance point that might help us out. So we do have some really nice things coming. So let me know what you're feeling. Let me know what kind of energy you're feeling. And we will go ahead and we're going to start into this oracle reading. All right. So those of you who like to journal, who like to write things down, be sure to grab your journal now, grab your pen or pencil, because there may be some messages here that are important for you that you might want to note down. A little sip of coffee to keep me going, sip of water here. We also had, I don't know where you guys are at, but where I live, we've had some really crazy up and down weather patterns. You know, I know the seasons are changing, but this has felt a little really like a little extra for us. Like yesterday, it was like an oppressive, like 93 degrees. And then 5 hours later, it was like a chilly 60 degrees. And so when you're navigating all these energies, it can kind of be like, what do I do with all this? You know, what do I do? Where do I go? And also the weather is weird, and I don't even know where to land with this, right? All right, so we're going to get into our oracle messages with the Shaman's Dream Oracle first. This one definitely wanted to come out, and I really just felt the energy of this deck. I love this deck, and let's see what the advice is here too. And before I do that, hang on, because I'm like, I got to go into these Sabian symbols first, because this is also going to shed a little light. Has anyone here been dealing with ancestral patterns, currents, healing of any kind? I definitely see that as part of this Saturn and Pluto sextile here. But since it's a sextile, it's a good time to really feel like you're resolving some of those things and being able then to set yourself up to take action towards it. And for those of you who've been here a while, you know I talk about that we're more than just, you know, a physical body. We're multidimensional beings. And we definitely have that aspect coming out. So the Sabian symbols come from a book. I use the book from Dane Rudyard, but they come from the original author and a clairvoyant, intuitive woman who got together and they assigned symbols to every degree point of the zodiac. So it can be really fun. There's a book called An Astrological Mandala, and you can pick that up. Dane Rudyard, Rudhyar, if that's something you want to look at. Now, I've been slowly but surely learning about these Sabian symbols and blending them in, because they blend in really well with the astrology and the tarot and the astrotarology that I do. I will say too, I have learned that when you're studying the Sabian symbols, what you'll do is you'll find the degree points of when a transit is happening. And you can even do it like the degree points for your own chart if you want, because you may reveal some themes of your life that way. But once you have the degree point, it will be like 5 degrees in so many minutes or whatever. There's like a time segment there. If it's over 5 minutes, you're going to round up to 6. That's how the Sabian symbols work. You kind of round up. So that's just your general rule on the transits, on the aspects. So you just round up. But this time, when I looked, we've got Saturn in Aries. It's like 4 degrees and so many minutes or whatever. So we round up to 5. And the Sabian symbol, and this can be just something you envision and kind of see how you connect to it, is a triangle with wings. Okay, a triangle with wings. Now, Aries is kind of the beginning of the zodiac, and I am finding with these Sabian symbols that they're kind of like, Aries is kind of handing it like straight to you. Like, I'm going to give you the symbol very simply, a triangle with wings. So just envision that. What does that make you feel like? Okay, because to me, I think about triangulation. I think about having maybe 3 reference points, but with the wings coming in, it feels like maybe we have to transcend or transform that triangulation, and we can, you know, have this self-awareness experience where we expand. And that's something that we're very much doing in evolution right now as humanity, especially spiritual entrepreneurs and people who are in tune spiritually and who can feel these energies. This is the capacity for self-transcendence. according to Dane Rudyard's interpretation. So this is really an opportunity at 5 degrees of Saturn and Aries, where it's almost like irresistible for those of us that are tuned in to actually expand ourselves, expand our awareness, learning more about ourselves, learning more about manifestation, learning more about how to move in this very interesting deconstructing global effects field that we live in, right? And helping us move through also maybe some of those lower emotional energies that kind of weigh us down a little bit with a bit more ease and grace, okay? And with the Libra full moon coming up, I think it's going to be a really nice energy to kind of embrace this. So you may want to work on this visual interpretation of the symbol. Some of you are artists. You may want to draw it, paint it, sketch it, a triangle with wings, and put your own spin on it, right? But this is all about us moving from like 3-dimensional to 4, 5, and beyond, right? It's if you want to take that route with it as well. But you can also just say, this is, you know, part of my evolution. I'm gaining more awareness, right? Ashley's here. Hello, Ashley. So good to see you again. Aloha. We say aloha to Ashley. She's manifesting a trip to Hawaii. So until we know you've been there, we're going to say aloha every time. All right. So yeah, great time with this triangle with wings to think about expanding and seeing yourself hitting some of those items on, you know, your bucket list, everyone, right? So check that out. Check that out and work with that energy a little bit. Now, the 5 degrees of Aquarius where Pluto is, this is interesting. So we've got Saturn at that 5 degrees Aries. So Saturn's almost like saying, you know, expand, transform. And I'm here to make sure you do. It's kind of like your health coach, you know, or your personal, you know, what do they call them? Trainer, your personal trainer is saying, yeah, you got to do this, build that muscle or whatever, right? And Aquarius is coming in, and Pluto over in Aquarius is like, oh, yeah, well, don't forget about your ancestry. Don't forget about your ancestral healing here, because the Sabian symbol for Aquarius 5 degrees, where Pluto is sitting, and Pluto likes to kind of disrupt and break things, bring things to your attention, bring things up, right? A council of ancestors is seen implementing the efforts of a young leader. Okay? A council of ancestors is seen implementing the efforts of a young leader. And really, what this is acknowledging. This is a Sabian symbol that acknowledges where we've come from. And that sometimes where we've come from ancestrally has been brilliant, strength, you know, strong ancestral achievements. And other times, and the times that we're usually more aware of, is where there was oppression, slavery. Our ancestors took a wrong turn somewhere. Okay, some of you may even be dealing with ancestral curses, right? And it's built in to your blood codes. But what I love about these two Sabian symbols is that triangle with wings comes in and says, hey, wait a minute. We know you've probably done a lot of work in this area of ancestral clearing and healing, okay? But also, it's really time for you to free yourselves from this. So depending what your ancestry, your upbringing, the decisions of your forebears, okay, is going to affect this vibe that you're going through right now, okay? So still manifesting, Ashley. Hello, Pluxilla. Am I a witch? No, I don't really consider myself to be a witch. Maybe in another lifetime. But I have been, you know, mistaken for that before. Anyway, I don't really like labels. Don't really like labels, so I kind of like don't roll with that. Yeah. Did you ask that recently? Yeah, I feel like I am. I love earth-based practices, okay? In fact, on the channel here, I have a real life mages podcast, which Yourself Evolved has been on for an episode, and we had a great conversation. So check that out. Okay. Different topics. I interview different people, and we're getting ready to kick that back up again. It's been a minute, but there's like 7, 8 episodes in there that you can go check out. And one of them too is with my friend and colleague Tara Green, and we talk about eclectic paganism, which is really interesting because a lot of people have certain triggers and certain feelings around the word pagan and what that means. So check out that conversation, because we went into what, beyond the labels. We want to go beyond the labels here, okay? So yeah, just it's an interesting conversation. But I think, I'm glad you asked, Pluck. You didn't just say, you just asked, are you? you know? And so when we can open up conversation, I think that's important. So we've got the ancestral patterns and things that maybe have our attention during this transit. We've got the triangle with wings, right, as a symbol. And remember, these are symbols that we can just work with. We can say, okay, when I look at these, when I feel into that, what is it telling me? What's the vibe I get from it, right? You're going to trust your own intuition with this. But since these Sabian symbols come up in this harmonious sextile, it means we're overcoming, we're transcending, we're learning something. So some of you may actually have that added bonus of some of that ancestral pattern weight, or even ancestral curses. If you feel like, your family, you could see it generation after generation having a really hard time building abundance or having things work out right, you might have some things to resolve there. Hello, Silver Pony. Hello, how are you? A little bit of coffee, wake up and mind your business. And that's from our BBD crew out there, Business by Design, with James and Jenny Wedmore. All right. So let's get into these oracle messages now. Silver Pony, yes, you can ask a question, but today is collective reading. So personal questions, I will be live on the 5th of April and the 19th of April for live Q&A, where I do mini readings for personal questions. And so mark your calendar for that. Make sure you're subscribed, because it's a subscriber only event. And for like an hour, I just answer the questions. Okay, so watch on the channel for that. The next one's on April 5th, Sunday evenings, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So mark the calendars for that. But today we look into the collective messages. Some of this will maybe resonate personally for you as well. So I encourage everybody to even listen to the collective messages, because the way I read is I am tuning into my own greater being. Okay, so more than just physical stuff here. I'm reaching out into those energies, out and extending my auric field. And I am intending for all the creators who joined the live, whether live or replay, that I am picking up on your energetics, okay? And so sometimes, depending who's watching and joining, I can really pick up on something that's in your field. So yeah, if you've never had a reading, Silver Pony, I definitely recommend getting your feet wet by coming to one of the live Q&As on those Sunday evenings. I do it every other Sunday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Central. That is a great way to just see what's this like, and you want to be sure you find someone whose style works for you, who you like the energy and you feel comfortable with. And it's just a reference point. So when I read, I also intend that at the end of the day, it is you, the creator being that you are. It is your intuition and your inner guidance system that overrides anything I say. Okay. You always listen to yourself. Okay. Because I'm making sense of quite a bit of energy that's going on. And, sometimes it's easy to pinpoint, and other times it's kind of gets lost in the sauce. So always trust your own inner guidance system. But if you come onto those Q&As, I read your question. I'm tuning into your name, your energy, and it's for you. So be sure to check that out. But collectively today, Number 14 comes up here. I always mention numbers on the cards because some of you like to work with the numerology. So you can use the number 14, or the 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so you can use those numbers. Maybe some of you have seen repeating numbers lately as well. You're most welcome. Maribel says, I feel like astrology and tarot are like weather reports. Yes, and it's like on my Monday videos, at the end, I do a psychic weather forecast for the week, and that's exactly what it's like. I kind of read the weather, and I'm like, is it cloudy? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it, a combination? So yeah, absolutely. So we've got here, and I think this might speak to the adventurer in some of you, because I have some people who maybe have some Sagittarius energies going on, or that might be one of your placements. I'm also getting a bit of Aquarius energy kind of coming in here. We got drifter. It's experiencing life as it comes, okay? Now, some of you are so good at planning. Maybe you have like all the Virgo energies in there, and you like those structures, and you like those lists, and you analyze things. So this could be just a little invitation to kick back, relax, and maybe take a little sailboat ride, okay? And I'm speaking metaphorically here, right? I'm speaking energetically here, but can you be in the present moment enough here to experience life as it comes? Because it's when the mind is not trapped in the past or spinning the wheels too fast into the future that we're really in that present moment. And can we drift maybe in that energy? I see this as positive because we can drift in that present moment energy. And what I love here is we have like these water walls, like almost like waterfalls of water walls coming in here. And I feel like water it brings a lot of like psychic awareness. So there may be something, and there may just be, I know you're busy, I know you have responsibilities, I know you have structure around your life, but there may be a day or even an afternoon, a couple hours, where maybe you could just practice drifting and just let go of everything. Maybe go on that nice nature walk and see what talks to you. Like this morning, I was feeling this energy a little bit, and there was a mockingbird outside making a whole lot of noise, and it was just so beautiful. And I double checked it. You can, hear, what does a mockingbird sound like? And you can go online and it'll like do the sound for you, the recording. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And it was just going nuts with all these different sounds. And it reminded me of my dad, speaking of ancestry, because he was kind of, a bird watcher. So some of you maybe that's a sign for some of you. Some of you are going to be having messages come in from our avian friends, the birds. Okay, so watch out for those hawks, eagles, birds. I heard crows this morning as well. So those could be symbols for some of you. But can you catch some of that energy where you're just, you can feel it, you can hear it, you can sense it, you can taste it in the air. It's that kind of energy. Tress has been seeing the repeating numbers. Silver Pony, is that the birthday? That's your birthday, May 6th, coming up. Taurus, if that means your Taurus sun, and Taurus is getting into Venus now. So backwards. Venus is getting into Taurus now, Taurus energies, and those two, that's the planet. That's the ruling planet for Taurus is Venus. And so that's a happier energy, okay? And then that's happening right now. And then, of course, your birthday will come up. So it might be a really, really good time for you in love, right? In love and relationships, and just also it can indicate like rethinking like how we're spending, because Taurus is also connected to resources, okay? Resources and finances. And with Venus there, you're kind of like, that's heart energy. So you're kind of observing like, what is super close to my heart? What do I really want to put my money, my time, my energy into. So some of us are really going to be thinking about that with this Venus in Taurus, okay? And being a Taurus and having Venus kind of show up in your area, transiting Venus, you may be feeling things even stronger, okay? So take a look at that. Astro.com is my go-to place. It's free. You just go on, you pull up your chart, and you don't have to know everything right away. Just take your astrology in little bite-sized pieces, because there's a lot out there. It can be overwhelming. You could pull up your chart and just understand your birth chart first, and then you can also pull up a transit chart there. They do sometimes like little ads pop up on the sides and stuff. You have to kind of ignore that, but I love a good free, calculator. So yeah. So come on my Sunday if you still have a question about Danny, so I can, I could do a personal reading on my Sunday for you. All right. So thinking about these Sabian symbols, how we're trying to expand and transform, right? But also ancestral stuff is coming up. We got problem solving and resolution. This, to me, this is coming from Angel Dreams Oracle. Look at this card. This is a great sign, okay? This is a great sign. Hi, J Love Starseed. You know what's really interesting, J Love? The next card I'm going to pull is from the Starseed Oracle. And before I started this live today, I felt like, and I was going to ask the community, do you feel like you're a starseed? And J Love, who has starseed in the handle of their YouTube handle, shows up. Okay, so I think some of you, know it or not, carry that starseed energy, and that is the next deck I'm going to be reading from here. But first, so as not to overstep this too much, I love this in the aspect of that Sabian symbol of our ancestry and what came before us and our attention on that, because I think with these puzzle pieces coming together, you're going to feel resolution. Something's going to be solved within you. When it's resolved within you, it impacts your whole bloodline, your whole ancestry, okay? So this is a really, really, really good sign. I love this. I love this coming in the sextile. It feels very harmonious. And look at, I love how her eyes are closed down. I feel like she's at peace. And you know what? Sometimes it's hardest to get peace in your mind. Like, you kind of have to let it bubble up from your heart and get your mind to quiet down and just let the solutions, the resolutions present themselves. Okay. All right. So yes. And Silver Pony, we do have a full moon coming up, don't we? We do have a full moon coming up in Libra. So I love Libra energy because Libra is kind of like a gateway to balance. It kind of helps us balance. And I love this energy coming in right before that full moon because, the full moon is kind of when release happens, resolution happens. So this could also serve as, if the full moon is really standing out to you, Silver Pony, that could be like important for you, and you're gonna feel that. Okay, so Love Green Eyes, hello, how are you? I do the private one-on-one personal mini readings every other Sunday here on the channel, live Q&A. Make sure you're subscribed. It's a subscriber only event, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 to 8 p.m. Central. And I usually put it up an hour ahead and hour 30 minutes ahead, because otherwise I get bombarded with comments. So try to come in closer to the 7 p.m. Central hour on those Sundays if you can. But also listen, in here, when you show up in here, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, there is a little bit of a personal vibe to that message. Sometimes you get in the collective readings the personal message you need. Trust your own intuition. Trust your inner guidance to tell you, yeah, that's me, or no, that's probably somebody else, right? So let's go to the Starseed Oracle here. So this one might be for our, who is that? J-Love, Starseed. And anyone else, have you ever wondered or just had visions or an understanding that you have other experiences parallel lives, past lives in other star systems? Are you connected to that? Do you consider yourselves to be a star seed? A lot of times star seeds can really have a hard time navigating the density of the earth field here. So, wow, you know, like it can be challenging. So it sounds great. Oh, I'm a star seed. You know, I've been in the Orion system. I've been in the Pleiades. I've done, you know, these, my soul has traveled there. And I definitely have my own, you know, visions and connections to those lifetimes personally myself as well. But here in Earth, in this density, is where we do the work this go around, okay? And we came here because we bring great wisdom and knowledge to the planet. So, but it can be when we're dropped into this very dense reality and we're used to just being, you know, like you have this wisdom of the old soul and then you're dropped into this heavy, dense reality. It can really like kind of mess you up, right? And like, whoa, wait a minute. Why? It's hard to move in this energy. But that's why, you know, I do what I do. Yeah, Mel Reed, we would love to have you, you know, hang here because Creators on the Crest, yeah, is a very supportive community. I have at least one of my moderators on here. Your Self-Evolved is on. Some of my other mods might be joining. I don't know, or they haven't commented. But they help hold a beautiful, engaging environment in the chat along with me. So yeah, it's so nice to have you here. I'm sorry you're going through a hard time, Mel. I'm sorry you're going through a difficult time. Because, you know, like, I feel that. I feel that. And hopefully some of the things that I talk about, you know, use your own intuition. What resonates with you will be helpful to you. And of course, you can check my description. Make sure you're on my newsletter. I run specials and communicate with the creator circle through there as well. That's in the description. J Love says, I've known I was a starseed since I was a child. I had a challenging life, but I'm so grateful. And oh, I love that. Let's just talk about that because J Love, you know what I'm saying about you're dropped in. It's a very dense reality. You might be, I mean, the child of parents who do not understand. Your family might not, the ancestor you come in, you know, might not be the most supportive for you and your gifts, talents, and abilities. You're even like made to think you're crazy and things like that. And the fact that you can find the vibrational frequency of gratitude now is absolutely beautiful because that gratitude is that uplifting vibe, right? And so sometimes those challenges really help us propel us into those energies. It's hard when we're going through it, like Mel going through a hard time, right? But we can uplift. So we're glad you're here, Mel. Take a nice deep grounding breath and pull it in, you know, yeah. It's relatable. You'll see people can relate, feeling a little stuck, feeling a little down. And, you know, like I said, cosmically, when I first started the live, Mercury and Mars have to still enter Aries. On the 9th, Mars goes into Aries. I think you'll feel like you can move a little better then. And Mercury on the 14th. Then your mind like kind of catches up. But this is a good sign we got this card about the problem solving and the resolution as well. Yes, grounding energies are super helpful. You know, I didn't even go into this today, but I use, in a previous Frequency Friday, we talked about the stone of hematite. Now I've got it on my earrings here. Let me just, so the hematite is in between the sunstones here on my earrings. So I do have a little bit of that. And then at the desk where I sit to do the lives, I use magnetite. I have it like my desk is kind of like in a quadrant of magnetite, which really kind of grounds the energy because I'm really popping in to a lot of different energies on the live. So I don't want that like floating around my home, my space here. I go around it. It helps the magnetite and the hematite will help you ground. So if you can get a hold of those stones or crystals, definitely do that. Another good one right now while we're working on this this sextile energy where we can release some of our ancestry. So some of you might be working on that. Smoky quartz is really nice because you're acknowledging, like, yeah, grab your hematite. Like J Love said, you know, the challenge, smoky quartz contains the shadow, the challenge, but also the clarity of quartz as well. So that while it looks smoky and a little bit, you know, hard to see through, you really hold it up to the light and you gain clarity. So smoky quartz, if you're really looking to gain clarity, I think it's a good one. You will have to acknowledge the shadow. There's no getting around that, right? We have to go through the challenges. It's what our souls signed up to do, you know, and our greater beings kind of know things that we don't know. Some of you might call that the higher self, right? I call it the greater being because it's the multidimensional aspects of you. You know, the human 3D reality is one aspect of you, but you are multifaceted. And so our crystal friends can really help us with that sometimes. There's another stone that I think is going to be good, but I want to kind of give everybody a caution here. Yeah. And anytime like I feel like stuck or like weird energies, I'm kind of one of those clairvoyants. I get physical sensations in my own body, but then when I'm done with the live or the readings, they're completely gone. Like it's just, but I felt like a little stuck energy rising up from the heart here. So with this stone, it's a great stone for Aries season. Okay. But it's an amplifier. So when you use this stone, just be really careful as to what energy you're carrying and what you might be amplifying, okay, is garnet. So it's hard, maybe hard to tell from my light source here, but it's a deep, dark red stone. And even me right now, I'm being very careful. Like, I'm not sure I'm quite ready to use this. I might put this in the full moon to be cleansed, this garnet, just to make sure it's clear of any previous energy. It will amplify. So if you're in a good mood and you're having a good day and you're making progress, grab it, keep it close. But, you know, you got to be a little bit careful. If you're not in a good place, you might want to set this in the, you know, cleanse it with some salt, get it in the moon, in the sunlight, you know, then after that to charge it and kind of freshen it, make it new for you. You want to be sure you're amplifying what you desire and not more of what you don't want, right? So do use garnet with care. That's all I'll say. Just be really careful with that. Let me kind of see. Let me scroll through. I don't want to miss anybody. We are going to go in. I will say today, we are going to go into breakout readings for all 12 signs. So I will have tarot readings for all 12 signs. Make sure you note down your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising, and your north node. That's kind of how I read the energy. So check out those breakout readings. We'll do that after the oracle. But yeah, I'm so glad. It's nice when people, and you know what I'm talking about. If you've been one, you can find that gratitude vibe. You can find that authenticity vibe. You can find the courage vibe. You can find, I talked recently about the gifts of neutrality. So that's when you get in the energy and the things that used to trigger you don't trigger you anymore. You don't get so drawn out into the drama vortexes. That's such a nice energy to achieve. Hard to hold on to, but when you feel it, it's nice. And those times are when you want to grab that garnet there. You want to go back to sleep. I feel it. Yeah, sending love to Mel. Yep, you use crystals? Good. Yes, you are here for a reason. Yes, I got these. You know what's interesting? When I bought these, I was working in the corporate world still. And they had one of those little where they bring in, you know, it was like we're at a building where there's other businesses. And they brought in they had like a little fair of like local crafts. And I met this really cool lady. I mean, she was, you know, like when you're in the corporate environment, you're like, okay, who else is even like me here, you know? And I met this really cool local jewelry maker lady, and she had these, and they were so unique, and I just love like the little stacked sunstones with the hematite in between, and had a really nice conversation with her. So I love when I get to buy, especially jewelry, from like the person who made it. For some reason, that just makes it even more special, you know, when I can actually meet them and connect with them. So, I mean, I'm going to be wearing it on my body, so I want to know their energy vibe was good, right? Maribel says, I just started using smoky quartz and it feels good for shadow work and ancestors. Yes. Yes. And that ancestors definitely came up in that Sabian symbol. Ooh, J-Love, you have a, oh, and Mel, you love selenite. Yeah. Oh, selenite. I do. So I do use selenite. I like it in a wand form. I like it in a wand form, but I also have a selenite crystal bowl, and that's what I use to also cleanse my other stones. I put them in the selenite because the selenite is self-cleansing. It's one of the self-cleansing stones. Kyanite, also a good one that self-cleanses. So some of these stones, you can kind of clear them a little, tame them down a little if you need to by putting them with the selenite or with the kyanite. Yeah. J-Love says, I have smoky quartz geode and a Moroccan smoky quartz geode. Oh, those sound lovely. I love the energy of geodes too. Yes, you are right, Mel. Selenite is such a cleansing crystal. Absolutely. Okay, let's get a starseed oracle card. Without further ado, I've been shuffling for ages, but I love talking to you guys. Okay. Okay, I think this is definitely a bit of a starseed message. It's called Lost Lands, and it says soul, memories, and gifts, meaning you contain in your blueprint, in your heart core essence, you have done this before, right? You have done this before. And what's interesting is like the picture here is kind of like a temple, which kind of reminds me of the background on the thumbnail for this video, which I knew had to be a temple, because we're with this Saturn and Pluto sextile, we're recreating something. So it's something we've done before, but we're recreating it in our vibe, in our new vibe. So like J-Love was talking about gratitude, we're rebuilding in gratitude. And it kind of, at first this energy kind of came in and it reminded everybody of 2020 and everything that was going on then and how hard it was and challenging and how it shifted the world because those two planets' relationships, Saturn and Pluto, but now it's in a sextile instead of a conjunction. So they were really close together. So it was like very challenging and very hard back then. But now they're in a sextile, but we felt it. We felt like, oh, is something coming again? Because, and it was kind of that initial like, oh, I don't know if I want this again. But with the energy that we carry and the responsibility that we may have as star seeds, right? Our responsibility, our goal here, the position we hold is to know, you know, we've done this before. So we do have insight. We do have an ability to connect with the energies of the beautiful future we want to create because we've been through the challenges in the other star systems. And so it does feel like sometimes you're bringing something back that was lost. This would be bringing back the best of your ancestry, for example, right? You have soul memories and gifts that can be helpful. And there's a lot going on in this card, like, isn't there? Let me hold it a little closer. Like you could see it very kind of looks very historical. It's almost like, is that the Colosseum from Rome, but maybe on another planet, you know? What's going on here? And I think they're intentionally abstract for a reason because we're not supposed to lock on to the stories and you know, like what has happened in the drama vortices of this reality. We're supposed to use those soul memories and gifts to lead our own lives, lead our lives of gratitude and positive manifestation, right? Manifesting from that place. And then also be able to spread that around us for humanity. Because if you're a star seed, you know, your purpose, your mission, it typically aligns with the evolution and betterment of humanity, right? Because you have learned, you have done it before, you have these gifts. Okay, how about, I'm getting a little release here. So as I'm pulling up the Sacred Geometry of Relationships deck here, y'all, who's dealing with relationship themes right now? Anyone? Anyone? Let me know in the comments. Relationships, this could be with family. This could be with, you know, significant others in love, no matter what your status, right? Let's kind of see what vibe we're dealing with when it comes to relationships in our creator community. So I'm just going to reach in and, yep, this card's coming out here. Ooh, of course. Of course, we get the sacral energy, the second chakra. So for those of you who work with the chakra energetic systems, I personally had a transcendent experience with my chakras. So I work mostly from the heart core, but that doesn't mean I still don't deal with like gut issues. And second chakra, sacral, is money, sex, power. Okay. So we might be really connected to this energy right now. It says the energy of the sacral helps us to navigate our lives through our emotions and supports our ability to enjoy the sensual world, which is that Taurus energy that we were talking about earlier with Venus traveling into Taurus, right? And transiting Taurus, that this energy is going to come up. So it is a sensual energy. It kind of is a warming energy. I'm getting that. Some of you may be warming up to that next level of relationship that you want. You may be having a personal experience within. Some of you too, right? Like Mel, you're mentioning some of you might be redefining the kind of relationships that you want, especially intimate relationships. Some of you may be healing, like literally healing physically your gut and trying to bring, you know, having probiotics and things like that, bringing your gut into balance, whatever works for you. And also I will, if you do know, there's another system called human design. Okay. If you do know your human design, some of you will have a what's called a defined sacral, and some of you will have an undefined sacral, and it will influence how you operate in the area, how you respond in your relationships. So you can also check online. I don't have a site at the top of my head about getting a free human design chart, but you can just type in free human design chart and see what you get. But we're definitely working with that, that lower gut womb area when it comes to relationships. So that means it's deep, guys. That means it's hitting us. It's really in there, okay? It's really in there. It's important to us right now, right? Some of us may be dealing with both the relationship aspect and the ancestral because of what we were taught or shown by parents of what relationships should be like. Some of us may be intentionally single or celibate right now to clear out those energies as well. So, you know, that's another thing. And, you know, always honor where you're at, you know, always honor where you're at with that. But we've been feeling for a long time, I think most intuitives have been tuning into, as we evolve and become more aware and clear out some of the stuff going on in the effects field. It demands an evolution in relationships. So we have to get really real with ourselves about what have we put up with that we're no longer willing to put up with? Where are our boundaries? What's healthy for us? What are we really asking for? Are we asking for what we need in our relationships, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot. But it's part of life, right? Zarina, hello. Okay, lastly, before we move on to the tarot readings for all the signs, we're going to pull one last oracle card here from the Earth Warriors Oracle. The last 2 times I've used this deck, we got the same card. So we'll see what we get today. Like, I cleared them, I shuffled them, and got the same card. But okay, what's coming out? What's coming out? No, not ready yet. Hang on. Earth Warriors Oracle. Love this deck. It's brilliant. Ooh, we got something new. Yay. And I think it connects in a little bit more with the starseed energy as well. We got number 36, or 3 plus 6 is 9, for those of you looking for those numbers. Mayu, somatic, from the galactic heart. What a beautiful sign to come in after that second chakra energy, that sacral, because look at this brilliance of the character in this card, the vulnerability, but also the brilliance. I'm loving the hair that's coming down. I mean, there's a lot going on in the lower energies here of the card, like she's embodying, incorporating, and maybe elevating some of those energies. Somatics is the body. We've got to bring the body along. Even if we know ourselves to be these, you know, timeless, like infinite souls that travel the stars, we are right now in a human body. So it's bringing the body along. Actually, the somatics, the embodiment of it. I love that. And it says from the galactic heart. So that galactic heart there, I was talking about that heart core. The heart, your heart is a great transmuter of energy. All right. So sometimes when you don't know what to do with thoughts, if you can have a somatic practice, whether it be tapping, like tapping right here on the thymus tapping, or maybe some of you do breath work. If you can get some of those mental energies down in your heart, you're connected there to the galactic heart. And the galactic, what I love about the galactic heart energy when I tune into it is that it has a great and powerful recycling mechanism. It's just very naturally recycling. So you can transmute some of the trickier mental monkey mind thoughts, right, through the heart space. So coming into that heart energy, right? And just being so connected. And what I love about this is like there's depth down in the lower aspects of the card here. I mean, I'm not even sure what we're seeing, you know, I'm not even sure what we're seeing, but I know we're transmuting and transforming it. Sean says on my Mesoamerican book of Thoth, after putting Osiris's soul together. Interesting. So it might be connected to a mythos, to a lore for some of you. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. I know a lot of you are probably studying the different, as am I. I have a Scorpio North Node, so I really like to go into the esoteric stuff. And I'm still deep in my practice with that. And I will be until the day I leave, you know, and transition into another form. I will be deep into that work. Those of you that are Scorpios, you naturally kind of go deep, whether you're sun, moon, rising, north node, or some of you may have, like, if you have a stellium in Scorpio, you really know what I'm talking about with the depth. Okay. So like you can't help yourself. You have to know. You have to go into those shadows to figure out like, what is this? So I always love when people talk about that they're studying it, you know, and then putting it through the trivium where you're using critical thinking and you're also your inner wisdom and your inner guidance to resonate what is true, right, for you, and possibly even historically. Okay, real quick, before we get into the breakout tarot, if you do like to deepen your practice in the study of the tarot, the last few weeks I put out short videos. They're real easy to watch, under 10 minutes, on the Fool and the Magician and the astrology of Uranus connected to the Fool, which I also consider to be an incarnation card over my decades of studying the tarot. You know, I try to let the energy of the cards talk to me. And also because I study astrology that is very evolutionary, I like to try to put all these things together. And that is what I've come up with. So you'll see that on the channel here. And then also I did the Magician. I did this one on Wednesday, just 2 days ago. This published the Magician card and talked about those elements on the table there, you know, elemental energies. So it's really exciting. And if you really love to immerse yourself and really take it into your body, into some somatics where you can use the highest aspects of these archetypes for your own life, I am creating a living audio library. It's already up on my website. It's in the description, and it's little 5-minute like embodiment. You could call them activations, meditations, easy to do on your lunch break kind of thing, 5-minute long. And I'm going to do them for all 22 of the major arcana. So I have a founder's price for that right now. If you'd like to go in and be a part of that, I will see if you register, you'll get a confirmation email and how to log into that and everything. And I'll be adding one each week. So every Wednesday, a new one will go on, and the High Priestess is next. Ooh, so if you like the High Priestess, she's coming. High Priestess, then Empress, then Emperor. And it's going to be really, really fun. It's fun too. It's fun to go deeper into these archetypes because remember, we're multidimensional. Multiple aspects of us reflect in these archetypes as well. Karen, you did not miss everything. In fact, you're here at a really good point because we're getting ready to get into the breakout tarot readings, and I'm doing readings for all 12 signs today. Somehow, some way, I'm gonna lean in. I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm gonna lean into my generator energy here. And we're gonna pull messages. We're also gonna talk about what each sign's major arcana card is and what it's connected to. Maribel said, we're like Batman, but better. Yeah, better. Love it. Okay. So all signs readings, I like to do these probably on Frequency Friday. I do them at least once a month. I was really feeling called to do readings for all 12 signs. Now, for those of you who maybe joined a little bit later, you'll want to listen to your sun, your moon, your rising, and your north node readings, okay? And then put the puzzle pieces together. Those of you who have like double signs in any of those placements, that just means those messages might hold that much more power for you. Some of you that are dealing with relationships, if you're kind of wanting to see, oh, you know, what's my son or daughter's energy like, or what's my crush's energy like, you can cross watch and kind of see what might be going on in their energy too. So we're going to go through the astrological wheel in order today. Since we're in Aries season, we're going to start with Aries. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then Pisces. We'll wrap it up at the end. So we're going to start off with Aries, and let's get into things. We're just going to jump into things here because I'm definitely feeling like the energy is good, and Aries is like, yeah, I'll get the ball rolling here. So let me know in the comments, do any of you have Aries, sun, moon, rising, or north nodes energy? Oh, Karen says Mars in Aries. Yes. I was trying to think what I know I have something in Aries, but I can't remember right now. I'm so into like the energy of Aries right now that I can't think about my own chart, but look at it and know where you might have this. And Aries is first house energy. So you can look at your first house in your chart too and check that out. Here is the major arcana card connected to Aries, the Emperor. Now, what's really interesting is that the Emperor himself is like Aries energy, which is very go and kind of like even a bulldozing energy. Aries can sometimes go, and then everybody else is like, where did Aries go? They get ahead. Sometimes they skip steps. Sometimes they get ahead of themselves. That can be a little shadow aspect. But what I love about the Emperor here is that he's seated in his throne. So this is very much the natural Aries energy where activity is happening from a place of grounded power for the Emperor here. So that's the higher aspects of the Aries energy and the Emperor. When Aries can move, and it's very interesting if you've got the Mars in Aries, because that means when your will force is aligned, Karen, with the action that you want to take, it's very powerful, very strong, and it can move mountains, okay? Because we've got our ram here, and we think about those rams and their powerful, like just very headstrong energy here. So if you're dealing with an Aries, just know they're going to have fire energy. They're going to have powerful, headstrong energy. Nishi 495, hello, how are you? Welcome. Two creators on the Crest. We're doing breakout readings for all 12 signs, starting with Aries. So Aries got the Emperor card. The Emperor card is the number 4. Very much a foundational energy, especially pertaining to masculine energies. And we talked about this, I think, last week, didn't we? Your Self-Evolved here, where I was mentioning, you know, it kind of looks like he has skeleton legs, but actually he's wearing armor like a knight. And I talked about how some of the characters in the Major Arcana are in this armor, meaning they've taken the path of the knight. So the Emperor would probably be most connected to the Knight of Wands energy. So we'll watch out for that as well. But the Emperor has definitely done the work, taken the path, you know. Of course, you might know an Aries who you don't like or you don't want to deal with. I get it, because sometimes they're just too much. They're too pushy. We all have light and shadow aspects, so, you know, but Aries can start things off, can get things moving, you know, cardinal sign energy. It's gonna initiate with fire. All right, with fire. Woo! I feel some energy coming up again. Just a second. Okay, better. Had to kind of clear something out from within. We're going to use the colorful neon tarot to get Aries messages today. And I'm going to pull 3 cards. And I'm just going to kind of use my intuition and what I'm feeling in the creators community energy fields as to what we most need to know, or what Aries most needs to know about themselves, or if you're dealing with an Aries here. And I'll let you know if I'm really getting, like, am I getting a work vibe, or am I getting a relationship vibe here? You know, I know you can focus on certain areas, but I kind of like to let each sign make known what it is they're working on. So starting here with Aries, yep, there's definitely, oh, nice, Aries. Okay, woo, okay. And this could be, it's looking pretty good for Aries energy right now. And maybe because it's their season, you know, it's looking pretty hot, looking pretty good. But in that higher energies way, in that higher elevated energy of Aries kind of way. Okay. So I like what I'm seeing here. I like what I see Aries stabilizing here. First of all, we got some pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles for Aries here. Aries is actually able right now to turn their attention to stopping and witnessing something that's growing. Now, this could be finances. So those of you Aries have been working on manifesting resources and finances. You're growing something new here. You're watching it grow. You may have had to be really patient, and I know that can be hard for Aries, but the 7 of Pentacles does indicate a patient energy. If some of you are Aries, or you're dealing with an Aries, they may be waiting for something to come through for them, abundance-wise. Now, this could also, Pentacles are connected to the energy of Earth, so it is a grounded energy, could be connected to health as well. So maybe Aries is focused on some health matters right now. And, you know, maybe something has slowed down some Aries out there if they're dealing with something health-wise, where they are used to moving at a certain pace, but they've been slowed down to acknowledge and nurture their own health here with this 7 of Pentacles. So I am getting that energy for finances and health and just navigating the physical world. What's nice here is that I think Aries is showing a nice progression of freedom energies. I think Aries, this cycle, this time space that we're in right now, Aries is really going to be paving the way for more freedom. I also see them being very, right now, and I'll show you the cards in a second, but being very family focused as well. not only for their own, like the cohesion of their own family, but the cohesion of families in general. There's some sort of connection here. And with that, we got the 10 of Cups. This is a beautiful card of like family cohesion, of where you're really feeling like the emotions are online, and you're having that sense of gratitude and wholeness in the family life. Okay. So Aries, if that's not the case for you, if you're not tuned in with that energy, the universe is coming in and saying, okay, you might just need to kind of drop into your heart a little bit more. So less like charging forward, and take moments to drop into your heart a bit more deeply so you can connect with this energy. For some of you, Aries, in the oracle messages and the astrology, we've talked about the ancestry. So that could be a resolution of ancestral patterns. So if you're an Aries and you're like, well, I'm single and, or I'm divorced, I'm a single mom, dad, whatever, this hasn't really been my reality. It may be because you were the one who is breaking the pattern and resetting it for your entire ancestry, which is a lot and a huge responsibility, but also maybe providing something. I'm getting a very like generational, future focused energy there. Your willpower, Karen, with the Mars and Aries, has been focused on eating right lately. So eating in a healthy way. Yes. Anyone else trying to do that? Oh my gosh, I have been trying to do that. I'm trying to get away from processed sugar as much as possible and just do, for me, I still like to have, like, I need some fruit or something, like, but the berries, I love berries, so that's really good. I love grapes too. I know they're really sugary, but has anyone had those autumn crisp grapes? Oh my gosh, like, I don't know what they're doing to make those, but they're like the Honeycrisp apple of the grape world, autumn crisp. And they're just like, they're just kind of like so good. Okay. Karen says, I love that card. It's been coming up a lot for me lately. I've been inspired to pray for marriages and families lately, but haven't taken the action of sitting down and following through. Yeah, and maybe that's your sign. Your heart is calling you to that because, and this will be something that those of you that do have a vibe with the starseed vibe, and you do feel like you've traveled, some starseeds actually do detach from this energy for themselves personally, so that they can focus on helping others and being in service to others so that others may be empowered to heal their family lines and to have solid family foundations. There's been a real attack on the nuclear family, hasn't there? There's been a real attack on that, and there's so much evolution going on. It's hard for people to sort through, And so understanding your own blueprint, I've been through times in my life where I've been extremely focused on, relationships and got to find a boyfriend and got to get married and got to do these things. Only to find out that my chart, I'm not a traditional, I have traditional values that are expressed very freedom focused, right? So I like my independence. I like being able to do what I need to do when I want to do it, So I have to find the balance in my relationships, right? And for a long time, I thought, oh, I need to do this. And then you do like in this order, you meet someone, you get married, and you have, it's not how it worked for me. And everybody's a little bit different. But this could also speak to those of us who don't have a real strong biological family. Are we finding family in community and in friends? This is very much a coming together. So don't underestimate how you might brother or sister or mother or father someone that you're not related to biologically as well. If you have that capacity to do so, what a beautiful thing you can gift the world with. I love that. Do I see Mirjam here? NSYNC Coach. Hello, hello. Definitely check out NSYNC Coach's channel and get with her on Instagram as well. She does beautiful work. Karen says, I will tag you in this Chinese chicken salad recipe with apples. Oh, that sounds so good. Yes, please. Can I add walnuts to it? Because I love the walnuts too. Those are one of my favorite things. I love walnuts and cranberries. Cranberries are tart, but they serve a purpose, you know. I really like them. But grapes, yeah, throw the grapes in there. You're feeling the constant attacks on relationships. Yeah, yeah. People are trying to figure it out, aren't they, for themselves? Here, Cheryl says, I'm single, I'm happy. You know, yeah. Sometimes, you know, you're feeling good and you're able to gift the world from that place, and it can be beautiful. There's more purposes in the world than being like, you know, I've got to be a mom or I've got to be a dad. It's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I love being a mom. But at the same time, like there's so much more and there's so many, you know, paths that we travel. I can understand there's been times when I've been single and I've just been like, wow, this is great. This is great. And there's other times where I felt lonely, you know, we're human. We go through it, you know. I know some people really vibe on the loneliness. So I love that the Aries energy is really like kind of leading into this and opening up this for you guys and that you're sharing here. Not just on us. Yeah, yeah. We kind of feel that. But never underestimate how you might, you know, relate to someone in a familial way, right? So even if they're not your direct descendants, right? Yes. Pepitas and sesame seeds. Well, those are really good. The black sesame seeds are really good, I think, for women of a certain age with their hormones and stuff. Like that helps. So I take that in a Chinese like powder form that I have like that I add to my teas and coffees and stuff. Yes, as a parent, every parent needs some me time as well, right? And so it also depends how you're supported in the partnership as well as to can you take that me time? You know, I have friends that did it all themselves without anybody to take any kind of responsibility off their shoulders. They raised a child all by themselves or multiple children. And that is some people's story, right? So, you know, the 10 of Cups, it's a journey. It takes a while to get there. And I think the 10 of Cups also kind of reminds us of the ideal, the human family, of like valuing humanity as a human family as well. And if you're a star seed and you know you came for that greater purpose to kind of anchor in some of those energies, you could really be connected to that. Now, the Aries tribe, before we wrap up, I got to give the third card here because this is a Major Arcana card. I've just talked about it. I call it the Incarnation card. And it is, you know, we always talk about one, like the Magician is the first card, but we have the Zero card here with the Fool. This is the 0 point energy that's coming up for Aries. And I love I keep getting this for Aries, and I have for like the last 3 years. And maybe it's just because Aries does kind of lead the way that I've seen this with them, but I've seen Aries energy be able to at least have the opportunity to. Whether an Aries decides to or not is another story. But Aries has had the opportunity to open up their heart. The Fool, and my nose is like itching and like we're really on to something energetically here, Aries. Like you opening your heart as an Aries or taking your energy as an Aries and opening up is really, really so important. And because this is in the way that I relate to the tarot, I call this the Incarnation card. It's connected to courage. It's connected to courage to take your first steps. And so what if you're walking off the side of a cliff? You have wings, right? Remember our Sabian symbol that we discussed today from the Oracle message. The replay will be up for that if you missed the Oracle messages. I talked about some Sabian symbols again today, the triangle with wings, right? Coming in and knowing that you can build some wings if you need to, but you're willing to take the journey and what courage it takes, you know, to kind of lead the way. So the Aries energy is saying, maybe this is the start, the 0 point, and you know, really appreciating yourself for and your soul for incarnating here in this lifetime, right? Because Wow. What a learning stage we have here on planet Earth, right? What a dense reality field we're navigating. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing in Aries energy right now. Again, maybe it's because it's their season, but really feels like there's some really nice opportunities here to nurture, to heal the ancestry, the family, and to really acknowledge the courage that it's taken to show up here and be here. Okay, we're going to close off Aries reading with a message from these cute little fairy dust oracle cards that I have. These are fun, kind of whimsical little messages. And, you know, because in my own personal situation, I've been feeling a little heaviness, a little grief. We lost a family friend a couple days ago. I just wanted to have something a little brighter to kind of close off each reading. So let's see what Aries gets. And they kind of rhyme, so they're fun. Aries got rainbows. In our forest, no trees debate. Rainbows stand with love, not hate. Isn't that cute? I know it probably shows up backwards to you because I'm on the vertical live, guys, but one more time. In our forest, no trees debate. Rainbows stand with love, not hate. And I love that. Like I said, I've been feeling this heart opening for the Aries energy. So look at your first house, everyone. Look at your Aries energy. Where are you feeling that you can open your heart, right? We have all sorts of places where we can really sense when our heart is closed off. But your job too is to find where can you open your heart and where can you do that, and maybe look to your own chart for that. Yes, we need that. Yes. Oh, Mirjam says, Insync Coach says, great to know my 2 daughters and my mom are Aries signs. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wowie wow. That's interesting. I just saw somebody the other day and she had done a video. She's a Taurus moon and her 2 parents were Taurus moons and her brother was a Sagittarius moon. And her parents were like laid out at 5 p.m. taking a nap and she's just kind of laying back with them. Those Taurus likes to relax and be comfortable. And the brother was outside doing all the yard work, mowing the lawn, because he can't like sit still. So it was really cute. It's really wild when we have these dynamics in the family. So that leads me into Taurus up next. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Okay, so we're starting every sign with their related major arcana archetype. You all know I have the Archetype Living Library link in the description below. But the Hierophant comes up for Taurus, okay? The number 5. All right, so any of you that have Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node, or maybe another planet in Taurus that could inform you, this is the card of spiritual authority. Okay, now Taurus, they get a bad rap, right? Taurus gets a bad rap for being stubborn. But when Taurus locks in to their true divine spiritual authority, there's no moving a Taurus unless they want to be moved, and that energy can be really powerful. It's not an energy that can be compartmentalized. It can't be captured. It can't be put in a corner, okay? It can't be cornered in. And this comes from, so with the Taurus energy, this comes from a great ability to embody wisdom and embody spiritual authority. Okay, so that's really what's coming through. The red in the robe really reminds me of that root energy, that grounded energy where Taurus really, they can really dig in. They're an earth sign, so they can really dig in and hold. And they will hold this energy. You cannot move them unless they want to move. All right. And so Taurus is coming in. We're holding the energy of the Hierophant for Taurus here. Spiritual authority, strong and powerful spiritual authority, very grounded as well, which is nice because, you know, we also know if we've been navigating, spirituality for quite some time, many of us went through kind of like, religions growing up, and then we went through the New Age, the New Cage movement, and then there's all this stuff spinning around that's all inverted and weird. The Taurus energy can really be helpful to ground. Let's ground it all in and let's get to what's real. I only want what is real, okay? That's what Taurus is saying. So they're able to take this beautiful evolutionary spirituality and ground it into the earth. Now, you got to be a healthy Taurus to do that, right? Taurus is also earth sign, very practical, a lot to do with comforts and experiencing the world as well. So it's experiencing the world with spiritual authority, wisdom, and proper alignment, of course. Okay, so let's see what's up for Taurus here. Oh, Taurus. Oh, Taurus. Okay. Little bit. So if you carrying Taurus energy, might be a little bit of stress going on for you. We got the Nine of Swords. So I read them as I get them. The Nine of Swords is kind of that energy. It could be bad dreams, nightmares, energy that keeps you up at night. This is the kind of energy. Luckily, it's a minor arcana card, so it probably means it's a shorter term energy for you, but it's like being unable to sleep, insomnia, getting woken up, cortisol. I'm hearing like cortisol, maybe too much cortisol in your body, affecting your mind, affecting your ability to maintain sleep or to deal with stress. Okay. So this being swords is mental energy. It could represent that it might be important for you to talk to somebody like a mentor, a coach, a best friend. You might need to get a few things off your chest. And you want to do so in a way of that appropriate spiritual authority so that you're not projecting, especially if you're a Taurus who also is a projector in a human design. You don't want to project this on to others. So making sure that you are attuned to that and are able to clear that out. But it's kind of like, a bit of despair, a bit of annoyance, a bit of discomfort. And Taurus doesn't like discomfort. I think we're moving in the right direction. Like Aries here, I think Taurus, you're moving in the right direction here. You're moving into your element. Maybe as we get closer to your season 2. So maybe right now you just might be a little bit stressed out. Maybe some of you, I'm getting like a Taurus who has that, they feel like they have to move on something, but they don't want to. It's really something they don't want to do. It could be a procrastination energy for some Tauruses that we're dealing with here. But if you are dealing with a Taurus, so if you're cross-watching for a Taurus, just know that they might be going through a little something. I would not poke the bull right now. They need to have a minute to sort this out. So, just, like the running of the bulls, you don't want to get speared. So maybe just, give them a little space unless they approach you and want to talk. And if they want to talk, maybe if you're able to, if you have a Taurus you love in your life, hold a little space for them right now. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and North nodes. Then we also have, now we're getting into Taurus's element here. So this is feeling like, okay, now we're in the Pentacles. Now I can get into some of this earth energy, but oops, it's a little out of balance. I'm having trouble. I'm kind of juggling this energy. The Two of Pentacles character kind of reminds me of like a little echo of the Fool card, right? Like, oh, here, I took the leap, I dropped in, but ooh, it's hard to balance this. I do feel like for this upcoming full moon for our Taurus crowd, okay, this upcoming full moon in Libra is going to be helpful to you. I think you're going to be able to find some better balance, whereas right now, see how the waters are a little bit turbulent here in this card. Again, minor arcana, short-term energy. We have a stronger, more grounded energy coming up for Taurus, but just know, that right now, a little bit of stress, a little bit of like, I'm having trouble balancing, I'm having trouble navigating, I'm having trouble with these energies, but we're going in the right direction. You're self-evolved. This is your sun's energy. Yeah. So you're like not sun sign, but you're a sun. It's his energy. Yeah. Now, what I'm seeing here, though, for Taurus is a progression. I think as we get closer to Taurus season, It's going to start clearing up, and you're going to see them kind of like come into themselves. Or if you're a Taurus, you're going to feel more grounded in yourself. You got your mastery card here, the King of Pentacles. So somehow Taurus is getting from this Two of Pentacles all the way up to the King of Pentacles come their season. But I think we have about a month here where Taurus is going to be clearing out. You're going to be clearing out some energy. I really like, I'm feeling a powerful connection between the Major Arcana card of the Hierophant for Taurus and the King of Pentacles. For those of you who might be dealing with a person who's a Taurus who's maybe a bit more stubborn though, you could feel like, are they ever going to change? Like they're so set in their ways. Like, I don't know if they're ever going to, you know, change or like figure this out. I do think they will. The King is like a masterful representation of the element of Pentacles. So it's really mastering those earthly energies. Maybe Taurus is procrastinating a little on something that they need to address. Or if you're a Taurus, stop procrastinating, right? Really, maybe try to put some even baby steps. I feel like Taurus, especially if, like, let's say there's something you have to do that you don't really want to do. Like maybe you have to file your taxes. I'll just use that as an example because who wants to do that, right? So maybe you're the Taurus who's like, I still got to do that, right? Take a little baby steps toward it, you know, get the W-9 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is. Some of Tauruses might be dealing with paperwork or applications or something I'm getting as well. That might be something. I think it'll be a little stressful while you have to do it, but maybe something good is going to come back around. The King of Pentacles is that elevated Taurus energy where you can sit there in your nice comfort zone with your chocolate and whatever, and like things just come to you. The resources come to you. So maybe that annoying task, like I'm using the taxes example, is going to pay off for you, at least kind of give you a boost by the time your season rolls around, Taurus. Okay? Whew. I love Taurus energy. Well, I'm a Taurus moon and my mother's a Taurus sun. So I have a very, imagine that, two stubborn energies clashing sometimes. But you got your selenite bowl and wand. Awesome. Love it. That might be helpful. Jay loves bringing up selenite. Maybe Taurus, kind of clearing some of these mental energies. That selenite for you maybe. Let's get a fairy dust. Love this little deck. Such a cute little box. It's like a little magnetic box and it's just tiny. And, you know, I have little hands, so shuffling, these are really easy to shuffle. I love it. I like cards that I can shuffle. The big ones, I'm like such a klutz at trying to shuffle those. Ooh, Taurus, you got portals. Where do we play? In nature. That's where the garden gate will take you there. Taurus, I feel like this is saying, hey, on this full moon coming up, get into nature. Give yourself a little nature time, a little ritual. Maybe you start gardening. Taurus is a really good sign. We just put up, we have those grow boxes. Do any of you garden? So we have like a semi-raised bed that's kind of out in the yard. But I notice in July and August, it's very mosquito-y down there. And so we got these grow boxes and I've had them and I've used them before. And you can plant multiple plants. You could get one and just do multiple plants. Of course, if it's tomatoes, you can do less, right? Because they take up a lot of space, depends. But we did 6 grow boxes and we did 2 big containers for dill and mint. And so you want to get the good herbs out there so the beneficial insects show up for you and keep the other ones at bay. But if you're a gardener, go for it. I feel like your portal right now is in the natural world, right? It's in the natural world. So Taurus, maybe getting your hands in the soil. You all love to do that. It's really healthy for you. And I think that'll help take some of the stress off that you might be dealing with. And it might even help you a little bit with any procrastination energies you're dealing with. All right, Taurus, thank you, thank you. Who's ready for Gemini? Where's my Geminis at? Oh gosh, I feel like Gemini just gets roasted so bad on like Instagram and like the memes and everything. Who thinks Gemini gets like, it's so funny. It's so funny. My dad was a Gemini. When I pull my Vedic sidereal chart, I'm a Gemini in that. So it's kind of interesting to see those different dynamics. I think they get a bad rap. And maybe people are jealous. I don't know. I'm sensing maybe Gemini, you got some jealousy going on. Your major arcana card is the Lovers. Maybe people are a little bit jealous of that, Gemini. You represent the twins, and here we have the masculine feminine energy, that polarization, that dualism that we definitely have to deal with here in the physical world. I think Geminis actually are able to deal with that pretty well. I mean, yeah, they might, in their shadow drive a few people crazy. You might get one version one day and one version another, right? My dad was big on, he would say something, and when he said it, it was like, that's it. And I told you, and that's what it is. And then when my sister and I would come later and it's like, well, 2 days ago you said this, he'd be like, I never said that. Yes, you did. We used to get so frustrated. Yes, you did say that, Dad. Like, you said we could stay up an hour longer, whatever, like, because he would like, in one moment he would say something with like confidence, and then like, when he didn't want to deal with it, then he'd be like, I never said that. It was a really funny, funny energy. But at the same time, Geminis are fun. They're the partiers. Party like a Gemini. They bring the life to the party. They bring the love. They bring the good times, right? So, this is maybe I think why you get roasted so much is because you can handle it and you move in and out of these energies. I had a good friend, Lisa, may she rest in peace. She has passed, but she was also a Gemini. And so when she was, in all the good energies and the feel good, happy Gemini vibes, she was Lisa. But when she was getting sassy and been in her shadow, I would call her Olivia, because she liked Olivia Newton-John. We used to dance to that and stuff. But so her kind of sassy side was Olivia, and then she was Lisa the other time. So I love Gemini. I actually love Geminis. Maybe it's because I have a Cancer sun and I'm really close to that placement or something, but I do well. I have my Mercury is in Gemini, which it's happy to be there, ruling planet kind of thing. So who is a Gemini or dealing with a Gemini? Mirjam, Gemini. Tressa, Gemini. And then Aaron, the Gemini, your husband. Yes. Maybe my husband's going to do some house projects this weekend, and it will help create your marital bliss. I love that. Yes, it is a time for that, isn't it? Okay, well, let's see what Gemini energy wants us to know. I got some cards definitely popping out here. Okay, interesting. Oh my, Gemini, are you feeling a bit fiery? I just want to know, because you got all Wands cards here. All Wands cards. And you have a progression as well. And your progression is kind of reminding me of Taurus. You know how you go from like a 2 to the King? You guys are in kind of a similar thing here. Let's start off with the 3 of Wands, where you're kind of at right now. This is nice, Gemini, because I feel like now is a really good time for you to embrace and connect to a third perspective on something, or like an option that you had not considered before. You may have only been looking at things very two-dimensionally, and the 3 of Wands comes in and says, wait a minute, there's a third option here, a third way for you to move. So any of you that have felt stuck, kind of like going back and forth, we have the 3rd wand coming in, and you're grabbing onto that, Gemini. That's good. Very fiery energy, though. You all might be feeling, April is going to be a big month for the fire horse energy that we've already, entered into, but it's going to kind of rear up again. You all might be really going to be having a very active April, I will say. But the invitation here for you, because I am feeling a little clearing, like some of you, if you're stuck, kind of bouncing back and forth, or you're trying to decide something, look for that third possibility, that third option coming in for you. Hi, Colleen, welcome. Ashley's a Gemini too. Man, this chat is full of Geminis. And I love Geminis, so yay. They get roasted bad though, man. I feel like they get, as my daughter said, like they were done dirty, like they did them dirty. You know how the kids talk now. It's really funny. Karen says it reminds me of the One Piece Zorro 3-sword style. Yes. When Zorro gets the third sword, he kicks booty. Yeah. In this case, it's the wand, which is about passionate energies, transformation. Any of you Geminis out there that are single, I think you're leaving behind the types of energy that you would gravitate to in relationships. You're looking for the wand that you haven't experienced before. So there's been a lot of healing that could indicate a lot of transformative healing in relationships. And you're opening up into a new option there. Really liking that energy. Okay, I'll have to check that out, Karen. Thank you. Fun family time. I know I need more. I feel like there's so much stuff I don't want my kids to watch that I'm having trouble finding, wholesome things to watch with them. So I'll take recommendations for sure if anybody has any good ones there. Number 4 comes in next with the 4 of Wands. So here's our progression, Gemini, 3 of Wands. You get that third wand, you start kicking butt, and look, you put something together. Yay! And look, they're happy, they're celebrating. People are watching, maybe people are jealous, Gemini. Here's the jealous. They're like, oh, look at them. Oh, congratulations, So try not to let jealous people bother you, y'all, or people that project that kind of energy your way, because the 4 of Wands is a beautiful, stable, passionate energy. Like you've worked for it, all right? I feel like you've come from a place that feels quite stuck, and the energy is really starting to pick up. Like I said, I feel this going into April for you all is really going to keep going, okay? So the 4 of Wands here, you're building something with this. Something new is being built. You're feeling very happy about it. Stabilization energies come in instead of stuck energies. So Gemini moving from stuck to active and stabilized at the same time. Okay. I think it's going to be kind of exciting. I do feel like this is an exciting time for you. Okay. So maybe you've been missing out on a little bit of that, feeling a little bit down, feeling a little bit like, just like things aren't happening, aren't coming through. With all fire energy coming in, all Wands energy coming in for you, and kind of igniting, your oxygen, Gemini oxygen to the fire of the Wands, you're going to be burning brightly. Look, you got the King of Wands. Now, if you're a female Gemini and you got my fire horse rising, you were in the temple or got the replay, we worked to embody the Queen, and here the King is showing up. So this could mean, Karen, you were talking about your husband doing projects. This could mean he could really get to the point where, okay, now I'm doing the projects, right? I'm building, I'm doing the house projects, I'm doing the work, right? And I'm feeling good. I might need a good dinner after he does that. Make him a nice, meal, maybe some spicy food if he likes spicy food. I feel a little bit of spice here for our Geminis, a little bit of spicy fun. Yeah. If you've been feeling stuck and down, Instinct Coach, this is exactly the kind of energy that I feel is a good remedy. I think you're going to be able to move better than you have felt like. This could also be physically too. Getting outside more, taking more walks, maybe even, the Wands are pretty fiery, cardio. I know sometimes I'm like, no more cardio, but, a little low impact, exercise could be helpful here. The King of Wands then is the master of fire, right? Now, Gemini, you will have to watch out. This is going to feel so good to you that you don't want to get too far into your ego, because the King of Wands can do that sometimes. We already got people looking at you being jealous over here, So just be sure that, you know, you're checking your ego when it comes up. It comes up for all of us. It's our job to tame that, right? To quell those energies and kind of tame them down. King of Wands can be like, you know, I'm the bomb and nobody's going to tell me different. So, which is, you know, it's beautiful to have, you know, pride and be proud of what you've done, what you've accomplished. But, you know, watch out for that. If you're dealing with Gemini, or maybe we'll be seeing some Geminis on the world stage, perhaps, because it feel like the world stage is like massive egos, like colliding with each other. Some of us will be seeing that on the world stage as well with Gemini energy. And that's a whole other part of astrology, mundane astrology, which is like the astrology of like governing bodies and political, you know, characters and things like that. And we know there's a lot of that going on out there. So we may also, that may be a little reflection as seen through the Gemini energies there. Whoa, Gemini, whoa, whoa. Your fairy dust oracle card flew out. Hang on. Oh, okay. Making me work for it, Gemini. Your card is keep going, okay? Keep going. So if you've been feeling stuck and down, keep going. The world at times is big and loud, but we'll make sure you're safe and sound. Good, I love it. The world at times is big and loud, but we'll make sure you're safe and sound. So Gemini could have a little bit of subconscious, unconscious fear in there. I mean, if you're here on the channel, you're an old soul. You've lived many lives. You've gone through the gauntlet. We know this, okay? Like you're multidimensional. And it's just nice to see that the keep going energy comes up for you. I really, really love that energy of keep going for you. And this wands, and some of you could even feel, Gemini, like you get like hyper ignited. Okay, you might be like, whoa, now things are really moving. So just be aware, be ready. You're an air sign though. You can flow, you can make it happen, you can move. All right, next up, Cancer. Do I have any Cancers still on? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node. Besides me, I'm Cancer Sun. Sun and Saturn for me. Cancer, you are the Major Arcana card of the Chariot. Now, what I love about this, it's the number 7. I really love that because it kind of brings in a bit of that spiritual momentum element going on. It's about progress, but also like controlled progress. It's like hopefully in control, not out of control. Cancers, you know, they're very good at watching the flanks, because imagine like the little crab going side to side, right? They do see what's going on around. So it does offer a bit of awareness to them about how they move. This can also, this is a card, Cancer, of health and good health and balance in health. See here how we kind of have these different energies coming through. This Chariot can at times be fast moving, Cancer. So, you know, I kind of am getting the words like pick your path and move. Like, I feel like you have a good vantage point. The Charioteer is up a little bit higher than the scene. So they have a little bit of a higher vantage point here. And I think the direction, I'm feeling like I'm already getting into your reading, the direction you're going is from a balanced and well thought out perspective. I feel like your movements now are going to be really important and really good. Your self-evolved has that Cancer moon, yes. So you might be feeling that deeply. Chariots can get stuck too, you know. You can, if the sphinxes here are laying down, right? So I love Sphinx pose. Like, I'm really fascinated by the Egyptian lore that's built into the tarot. And I really love the sphinxes. And I love that pose in yoga. So maybe moments to do that. Maybe that becomes part of your stretch practice or your spiritual practice. It might help with your health. It's one where you're, you kind of get down all the way, laying down, and you're kind of like push up on your forearms, and that heart gets opened up there. So Cancer, that might be nice. Instinct Coach has Mercury in Cancer. Ooh, how interesting. Very, very intuitive mind. A very intuitive mind. I love that. All right, Cancer, what do you got for us here? What do you got for us, Cancer? This one or this one? This one? Okay. Okay. Wow. This is interesting. We're kind of piggybacking a little bit off Gemini here with some of the Wands energy. But first up, Cancer, and this might be even more for Mirjam. You just mentioned Mercury in Cancer, Ace of Swords, clarity. A brand new thought, a brand new inspiration. I feel like Cancer is going to be very inspired. This could represent, with the hand coming from the clouds, it can represent a message that you receive loud and clear. We're crowned here with the universal energy. Loud and clear, a loud and clear message coming to you from the universe. So if you've been feeling a little foggy, maybe experiencing some of those Pisces energies, because remember, Mercury's still in Pisces. So I'm really getting this for you, Instinct Coach. This is, this is what I mean. When y'all tune in, let me know your sign, let me know your energy. I start to sense your greater beings in all this. Instinct Coach, Pisces, Mercury and Pisces. Pisces is fogginess and illusion, but Mercury by mid-April, right? Yes, is going to be in Aries. So really listen for the message from the universe here. J Love is asking, and I'll give my feedback, J Love, but also if anyone else wants to tap into this. Astro.com. It can also be astro-seek.com. I think it goes to the same. They kind of own several domains, but astro.com is a great place to get your free chart. There are some ads that pop up, just you have to kind of ignore those. But you can put your info in, and it's a free account you can set up. You can even save that, and then as you go through, it has like a drop down, and you can pull different charts, like the transit chart. I love to pull like a transit chart when I'm doing something, like when I did my Fire Horse Rising Temple. I was like, what's my, what's it looking like in the energies? Is there anything I need to prepare for? You could do it for the full moon, new moon. And that'll show you where the planets are on that day. If you have some, like an important day or presentation or something going on, it can be fun to pull that transit chart and give you a little bit of information. So, but other people, you might have other Astro, DIENTIST. I've used that one before too. I just like astro.com better. I think it's easier to use. So that's why I recommend that one. But yeah, Cancerians out there, you might need to, do a little dive into that astrology there. But that message from the universe, I do want you to watch out for that. It could come through in the form of you just get really clear on something. You just get really clear on something, or you're able to communicate something. This could mean, for those of you who are like content creators, you could just have an inspired idea. If you take action on that, it could end up like getting a lot of attention in a good way, like a viral thing. So, just saying, that might be something to flow with, okay? The Four of Wands here has come up again. Now, remember, Gemini just got this. So Cancer, you're right in there. You're like, I'm not going to let Gemini get all the celebration and have all the fun. You might be there might be a little bit of the Cancerian, like, I'm the bomb too, and I'm going to celebrate this as well. But I really feel like this is coming in as like, it's interesting. Some of you may be Cancer, Leo, cusp, because I'm getting a sense of pride here, a sense of pride in what you've built, Cancer. It's important for you to be proud and be excited and celebrate. It could also mention just having little celebrations. So if you've been feeling like stuck energy, Cancer, or anything like that, and your chariot has not been moving, just challenge yourself to come up with 4 little mini celebrations. What can you celebrate? and how can you build on that? Because that's going to start these sphinxes going. They're going to start rolling. The chariot wheels are going to start going. You're going to start getting your momentum. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely here with that. So I feel like for you, it's really feeling the transformation of celebration. Maybe some of you have forgotten, Cancer, you've forgotten to celebrate because you know, you might have been wrapped up in caring for everybody else and taking care of everyone else. And you might have forgot, you know, like something that you did or accomplished. You may not be feeling that, and taking time out to really do that is going to lead to this next card, which is the embodiment of the Queen of Wands. I love that Gemini came up with the King, right? And Cancer comes up with the Queen. And I think we're really seeing some balancing of the masculine, feminine energies coming in. And I like that the different signs have brought that in. We're talking about Venus being happy in Taurus, and Mars come mid-April moving into Aries and being very happy there. So Cancer, you're bringing in the beautiful feminine energies here, bringing in some lovely feminine energies of the Queen. You might have noticed on the King and Queen of Wands, their thrones just go continuously up. It's like they're in this tunnel of energy where we don't, I mean, there's no limits. There's no top to this. So Gemini and Cancers both. Cancers, you've got this too, where you're just really like blowing the top off things here. The Queen is coming in more of the feminine flow energies, while the King is more of the masculine, active energies. I could also, if you like sunflowers, she holds a sunflower. Sunflower seeds might be something you like. You might be planting sunflowers, or that just might be your disposition in these energies, Cancer. It's looking pretty good for you. It's looking fiery, but it's looking fiery and warm in that feminine flow kind of way. And I think it's really going to help you with what you're moving forward with. There's more that wants to be said here. Hang on. I got to go back to this Ace of Swords. Cancer, if there's anything, for some of you, if there's anything that you've been hesitating to say, this nudging from the universe is really going to prompt you to say it. Find yourself a safe space where you can do so, or maybe this is about finding, maybe some of you are kind of at the end of the line with this, like you've tolerated something and you're done. When a Cancer is done tolerating something, they're done. They're going to let you know, and then they'll be gone. Okay, so I'm kind of feeling that for some of you Cancers. Somebody out there needed to hear that has the Cancer energy. You're gonna claim and say what you need to say, and so you can move on with a new beginning here, because the Ace is about a new beginning. So definitely, some of you, it's going to be a message from the universe that brings clarity. Others of you, you're saying what you need to say. You have that release, and you can move from there. All right, let's get you a fairy dust card to close off the reading, Cancer, and then Leo is up next. All right, Cancer. Cancer's been very nice to allow other energies to creep into their reading today too. Very kind of you. Cancer, nice. I love this. Here we go. We needed this because this represents the current Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is direct in Cancer. You got 4-leaf clovers. You have found a 4-leaf clover. Unlucky times will soon be over. Yes, Cancer, let's embrace that. I know I am down for that. I am down for the 4-leaf clover. You have found a 4-leaf clover. Unlucky times will soon be over. So if you've been feeling a little down on your luck, Cancer, it's looking better. It's looking up for you, okay? Jupiter in Cancer really brings in those energies. You are a cardinal sign like Aries, so there's momentum built into that, right, to get things moving. And I think your chariot's going to be moving. All right, let's move on to Leo Lion. Do I have any Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North nodes here? My 12-year-old son is a Leo. Your tarot card, Leo, is the Strength card, number 8. Ooh, so fun. I'm so excited to do this archetype too. There's just so much to go through in these archetypal energies. The Strength card, Leo, you have this beautiful way of being just incredibly confident. I mean, you can tame a lion. You can tame a lion. That is incredibly confident energy. You can have the tendency once in a while to get a little too prideful, a little too big for your britches, right? But it comes from a place of just a big, open-hearted energy. And so, yeah, Leos can come off as arrogant sometimes, a little bit here. They can toot their own horn a little too loud, but they also have good reason to be proud and prideful of themselves. They're strong. They're connected to their strength. They've been through, when we think of like Wicked and the Wizard of Oz, the cowardly lion, right? They've kind of been through the depths of that in their own energies, and they've been able to overcome that. They've had the strength to overcome that. I'm also getting, oh my gosh, and there's so much energy moving. I feel like I have to burp. Leo, I feel like there's a lot of energy moving for you in your understanding of like where you've been and where you're going. I feel like Leo energy right now has the potential to really like see the vastness, which I think it feels really good. You have such a big open heart, Leo. Such a big open heart. Your capacity to love and to kind of spread that is really strong. Some of you might do that like on stage, or especially if you're an extroverted Leo, you can really like roar and get people's attention. So I'm sensing that energy. Leo's energy is feeling big, and they're big anyway. They're big-hearted, big energy people anyway, but it's feeling good. Karen said I had to step away to talk to the mechanic. You did not miss Scorpio. No, Scorpio, we're on Leo and then Virgo and then Libra and then Scorpio. We're going in order of the zodiac wheel this time. Yep. Thank you, InSync coach. Also, because sometimes there's like a little delay when I get to the messages. So I appreciate y'all helping each other. All right, Leo. So even though I'm clearing and shuffling, we're getting some of the same cards. That happens sometimes. There's some overlapping type of energies here, but there are 2 unique cards here. And all of a sudden, when I get into your reading, I'm feeling very hungry, Leo. Are you hungry? Do you need to have like a good, like I'm seeing like a power bowl. You guys know what those power bowls are, where it's like healthy like vegetables and quinoa and rice, and like I'm seeing like a power bowl for you. I feel like you need, your energy is so big. Maybe your energetics are just really like hyper metabolized right now, but I feel like you're hungry. I don't know. I'm getting hunger all of a sudden. I was not getting that for any of the other signs, and now I'm very hungry. All right, first card up though, Leo, there is something that you are closed off to, some sort of offer that makes you feel a certain way. This is the Cups energy, okay? You might be doubtful about something coming in your way, or something that the universe is trying to tell you. You may be a little resistant to that right now. I really feel like some of you are looking for the right cup or the right emotional energy to kind of complete your connection here, because we've got the 3 cups, and the 4th would bring, 4 is a stable number. We think about the 4 corners. We think about the Emperor energy for Aries season. This could also be that some of you Leos may be getting an offer that you're like, no, I'm not going to take that because that's just a repeat. I've already learned that lesson. Okay, your energy is very big and open right now. So you're going to perceive when stuff tries to come in. So some of you may be getting, like, especially if you're single, like an offer of love that you turn down because it may not, you're like, that's part of the old ways. It's not going to complete my set here going forward. Okay. I think that's a really good indicator for you as a Leo, since you do have a big open heart. If you're ever feeling like you need to kind of put your arms up and protect that, like energetically, as the character is here, that's kind of like your no. That's kind of like your somatic no. Your body's like, I don't really want to receive that. I'm kind of looking at what you're doing, but I don't want to bring it into my heart. And I think that's probably pretty good practice, Leo. I think you need to protect it because you do have that big open-hearted energy. Also, alongside this, Leo, you might be just dealing with a little bit of self-doubt, maybe a little lack of courage right now with this 8 of Swords. But 8 is your number. 8 is the number of the Strength card. It's a number of abundance. So since you have that big open-hearted energy, your energy is big. When you feel things, you feel them big. So if you're feeling a little confusion or feeling a little stuck in your thoughts, okay, luckily this is minor arcana energy here. I think these energies are going to pass, but let's be real. Some of you Leos are probably dealing with a little bit of, you know, a lack of courage, a lack of confidence, or just kind of feeling trapped. The 8 of Swords, however, it's self-imposed, Leo. So you may be, okay, I think I see what it is for you Leos. I think for some of you, you are trying to guard yourself in a certain way that's unhealthy, maybe even blocking yourself off from your true thoughts. And maybe the universe is trying to come in and help you open up into the energies. I think it's coming for you. I think the fire, use your fire energies to kind of transform through this. You're definitely, Leo, you're definitely showing me like you're not here for something. Like there's something you're not bringing in. You don't want to bring it in. You don't want to accept it. It could be something or someone. Maybe it's because they carry an energy that has previously affected your ability to stay and feel empowered. I think it's good. I actually think this is good. Sometimes this card comes up, this 4 of Cups, of like, oh, the universe is offering you something, Leo, open up to it. But I think you're wise here to be discerning, because I think you're also carrying this energy of there's some sort of doubt there and you feel like you need to shield yourself, and that's informing you of something. You're protecting your power. You're protecting your power here. You got the Queen of Wands. Here's this Queen of Wands coming up again, like it did for Cancer, right? And Gemini had the King. You've got the Queen of Wands again. And I keep seeing, Leo, this little black cat here is really standing out for me in the card for you. You know, you're definitely a sun energy, and the sunflower's there and everything, but this little black cat comes in. There's a little bit of shadow energy that I think you're picking up. Something's coming into your field and you're picking up on that. And I do think before you open your heart super wide, you're going to make sure that it's something that really should be there and that goes along with the direction you're going. So if you, and others of you could just be doing a little bit of shadow work. So you're kind of like protecting yourself from the world while you transmute and transform something, while you release something. Some of you, it looks like, is going through something quite personal here. Maybe you're keeping more to yourself. Others of you, it feels like your friends group, your friends circle is changing. It's redefining itself here. I get that with community and friends, new community, new friends. And you're kind of like, before I immerse myself in something, I want to be sure it's the right thing. So you're a little bit cautious here. It's okay. You've got your strength. You're working through it. You're not making a decision that's going to, like, you know, get you into something that is part of the old way of doing something. Lala. Oh, and thank you, Mirjam, for helping answer the questions. Taurus, we did Aries, then Taurus was our second reading, but I will have the replay up with the timestamps, so you will be able to go back. Also, make sure you check out your sun, moon, rising, and north node readings to get the full picture. You can also cross-watch for others, okay? All right, Leo, you are on the right path. Here's some reassurance for you. The way ahead is clear and true. You've chosen the right path for you. So when it feels like, Leo, you might be closed off to something, that would represent a detour, or like you're going to try to veer off your main path to go do something for someone or something. You're on the right path. The way ahead is clear. And if you need to pause on your path, you need to take a moment to sort through some of what you're doubting or what you're feeling or what you're closed off to, that's okay. You will move again when you're ready. Maybe you just need to rest right now in the sun and get that clarity. But all in all, it feels like, Leo, you're on the right path. It's feeling pretty good for you. And at the end of the day, you end up in that Queen of Wands energy, which is your natural fire element. And that feels good. I feel like a lot of the signs that I've read so far, we're kind of having this like clearing out that we're doing. We're kind of moving and progressing. The Aries season energy is bringing that for us. Next up, Virgo. Do I have any Virgo? Virgo, sun, moon, rising, or north node. Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about your Major Arcana card. Virgo, you get the Hermit card, okay? Number 9. And oh gosh, I just love this because the Hermit is about guidance and wisdom is knowledge and experience blended together. So there's a lot of wisdom going on. It can represent solitude, like really trying to connect with what's going on inside you in solitude. It can also be a card of being able to see like the warning signs about something, being able to have the foresight to see what's coming. And I think some of you Virgos, you're mental, you're ruled by Mercury, but your analytical skills, your ability to see and understand patterns and how they're unfolding is so super strong, that you're able to then take that information and then apply it, mix it in like your magic cauldron with like your experiences, and then you gain the wisdom. The Hermit to me is like the magician that has passed on down. He's taken some steps down the path. He's evolved a little bit into this. The Hermit holds the wand of fire, which is beautiful. He has control of that. It's like his walking stick, his staff, and he holds the lantern out in front so that he can see, what's coming down the path. Now, Virgo does have to be a little bit careful, especially if you're a psychic intuitive Virgo. You have to be a little bit careful about getting too far ahead, okay? Because you could end up pulling all your energy into the future and have a little trouble staying grounded in the present moment, okay? In Sync Coach, you have a Virgo ascendant. Right, absolutely. So that could be how you first interact with the world, is through these Virgo energies. You can also look to, those of you might want to look at your chart in your 6th house, the 6th house placements. Because I have like my Cancer Sun and Saturn are in the 6th house of Virgo. So that kind of the house placements give you yet even another perspective of like, where do these things live to show me? The house placements will show you the themes or the areas of life where certain energies might play out. In Sync Coach is realizing double mental energies with Mercury. Yep, Gemini and Virgo share that Mercury rulership, right? I mean, Pluto kind of gets left out, how there was like, I'm feeling a Pluto energy, Virgo, for you guys for some reason. Maybe some of you have like major Pluto transits going on in your chart. Maybe that Pluto being in Aquarius right now is affecting you in some way. So I'll just, if you're a Virgo, make a note of that. Maybe that's something to look up in your own chart. Now, you've got all minor arcana energies, no royalty cards, no additional major arcana cards here. So it's looking kind of like it's a little bit hard for you right now, Virgo. And I think it has like traditionally, like over the last 2 years, Virgos have kind of had a rough go of it, and a lot to do with challenge in making something happen for what you're passionate about. We got the number 5 here, the 5 of Wands. And while the Wands is a really fiery, transformative energy, there's momentum to it. You could even say these 5 characters are maybe trying to solve a puzzle or build something together, but they're just struggling a little bit. It's like the energies are all going in different directions, Virgo. So it may be a little bit hard for you, or it has been, or it still is a little bit hard for you to land where you want to be. You may even say like, okay, I don't even know where I want to be. And that's a little bit tricky for your mental energies, for your mind. It's a little bit hard to wrap your mind around. Some of you Virgos are also so into like seeing all the paths ahead that you may just have a little bit of overwhelm, a little bit of overload right now. And so like all these energies are kind of clashing together in your head, maybe Virgo. I don't know. Like it's just, it's like there's action and there's momentum, but it's all kind of like shh. And it may be a little bit hard for you to figure out just how to dedicate your action. Okay. Hi, Nessa Hearts. How are you? Welcome to Creators on the Crest. Let me do just a quick reminder. I love when new people say hi. Today's readings are for all 12 signs collective, but on April 5th and April 19th, from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here on the channel, I do free personal mini readings. So if you'd like to come on, it's a beautiful community. All right, very supportive. You come in closer to the 7 o'clock hour if you're dying to get your question answered, because it fills up fast. And I usually only go an hour. Sometimes I go over if I'm feeling a little wild and whimsical. But you can come and get a free mini reading. It's a subscriber only event, so make sure you're subscribed. 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, April 5th and April 19th are the next ones. Oh, I'll miss you, Mirjam. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for being here. I know it's a different time zone for you. It's probably getting a little bit later. And we'll talk soon. We're going to set up, I'm going to be interviewing Mirjam on Real Life Mages podcast. I'm getting it kicked back up. I don't know why I'm shuffling right now, but I'm shuffling for some reason. Virgo, I'm shuffling something. Maybe I'll have to pull another card for you. Okay, I might pull another card for you, Virgo, because I kind of went back to the shuffling. I'm like, but let's get through your reading and then we'll see. That was a little bit of an intermission there. Okay, Virgo, the next card you got, the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so not only are you kind of like, there's like ideas, there's like movement in your mind, but in reality, all these actions are kind of clashing. Virgo, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Ooh, this is about resources and how you hold on to your resources, maybe to do a lot with spending. You could really be changing up your relationship to spending and saving. Okay, look at this character. I mean, they've got the 1 pentacle over their heart, 2 under their feet, and 1 above the head there. So you're really trying to connect and maybe bring stability to your resources. With this feeling here of the 5 of Wands coming through, it could be that for the short term, because we're dealing with more short-term energies in these minor arcanas, you may have to save for now, or you may hold back from like a big purchase. You may hold on to something instead of selling it. Maybe there'll be a better time to sell something later down the road. You're really like, you're trying to make these decisions. You're trying to figure that out. But for right now, you might be in a bit of a pause with resources. And if resources do come into you, you might have the tendency of like, let me really look at how to make the most of this resource. Let me take this, $1 and turn it into 100 somehow. Some of you might be focused on investing, or and this could be time, energy, money. Okay, doesn't have to be just money. It can be time and energy as well. Really focusing on protecting your resources here. Now, it does seem to me, Virgo, like on down the path here, as you're the hermit, you know, you're walking down the path, your path is illuminated, you've got a lot of wisdom. You're going to bump into a little something emotional here, and you tend to be very mental. So this might feel a little like, but there is some sort of emotional energy. Could be guilt, could be grief, could be relationship, could be something that you previously emotionally connected to that you want to go ahead and let go. Go ahead and leave behind. You're going to take a new trail now, okay? I kind of feel like in this card with the moon, the moon energies coming up here, this may have to do with something you're releasing at this upcoming full moon that we have in Libra. You may just find the right balance point for yourself to walk away, to go ahead and take that new trail. Now, you're not leaving a mess behind you, which is really nice. Like all these 8 cups, they're stacked nicely. That indicates to me you're leaving something behind. You're letting go with gratitude and love and grace. You're not leaving things a mess. This isn't about an emotional catastrophe and you're leaving a mess in your wake. You're leaving on you're walking away from whatever this is or leaving it behind on good terms. So this could be like guilt or grief, like resolving within you. Emotional energies. Think emotional energies. Sadness, that kind of energy. Melancholy. You may be, just making a choice. I'm going to take a better path. I've learned and I've improved my emotional intelligence. Virgo, you've improved your emotional intelligence. I am going to pull one more card for you because for some reason you're asking for one more card. So some Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node out there needs something else here. One more card. Don't get jealous, everybody else. Ooh. Somebody out there, Virgo out there, is looking for a confirmation. Maybe you feel like you've been deceived or betrayed. You got the 7 of Swords. This is a confirmation that, yes, you're dealing with an energy of deception or betrayal. This may come into like the energy of like scammy kind of energy. So watch, read the fine print, watch what you click on, stuff like that. I feel like this message need to come in. Remember the hermit card is about warnings. So Virgo, you're kind of like giving, okay, like watch out. And this could also be like Virgo is very much an energy and a sign that wants to be in service to humanity, that wants to help others. So this could also be Virgo saying, hey, this message is not just for me, it's for everyone. Everyone, just be super careful. I just saw one of my colleagues' Instagram accounts get cloned, and scammed. And if you weren't looking really close, because they used like her image and her name, and then if you read further down, you could see it wasn't that. And then they were trying to like send you like a WhatsApp link or something, no, babe, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, y'all. Don't click on those links and stuff. Virgo's saying, hey, watch out for this. So there might be a little uptick in that, just something we can all watch for. Keep an eye on the elderly people in your life, especially the ones that they might still have that landline phone, getting scammers calling there. Check with your mom, dad, grandpa, grandma. Make sure everybody's not, getting trapped because they do get targeted there. So. And Virgo, your message from the Fairy Dust Oracle is the Green Fairy. A cheeky green fairy on your behalf is appearing here to make you laugh. That's so cute. The Green Fairy, a cheeky green fairy on your behalf is appearing here to make you laugh. Okay, Virgo, maybe that's your sign. Like embrace a little more laughter. Maybe go to that comedy show. Watch something that's funny, that makes you giggle. I feel like that's going to be really helpful energy, especially as you're moving through something that, is emotional transformation and you're walking away from something. So, that's nice to have a little bit of lighter, fun, laughter energy. The Green Fairy, I don't think in all the times I've pulled cards out of this deck, I don't think I've ever got that one, Virgo. So thank you. I feel like your energies were so authentic to you too, Virgo, because you had a message for everybody as well, which was very, very cool. Okay, who's ready for Libra? Do I have any Libra? Sun, moon, rising, or north nodes. Let me know in the comments. Libra, sun, moon, rising, or north node. My daughter is a Libra. And that's also, I believe, her right. No, it's her north node too. Some people have like things in the same thing. So you get a double message. Guess what your major arcana card is here, Libra? Always trying to find the balance in the middle ground. You get the Justice card, the number 11. You're also that astrology sign that is not anthropomorphic. You're the represented by the scales, which she holds in her left hand, the scales, in her right hand, the sword of truth, the Justice card here. So Libras, looking for the balance, looking for the truth in things, looking for harmony in things. And also Libra energies can speak to legal matters, but think about it too, not just like man-made law. Think about cosmic law for Libra. Yeah. I feel like it's more. Libra, air sign, mental energies, swords energies, yes. But I feel like there's some sort of connection right now that wants to be witnessed and spoken about, having to do with Libra connecting to natural and the cosmic law principles of really seeing the truth through things, through all the inversions and things like that. Libra, some of you may have really gained a lot of clarity lately. I also love that you get number 11 in the card because it's like a master number. So that look for those 11s, Libras. And let's get some tarot cards for you here. All right. Yeah, that sword of truth and really connecting. I mean, you know, Libras can be excellent. They can negotiate well because they see both sides, moderators, you know, at the same time. In the shadow side, Libra has to be careful that they don't get too far out of balance. If they get too far out of balance, that can, you know, lead to something. I'm also getting, Libra, that some of you, I'm not a proponent of drinking alcohol at all. In fact, I think humanity is going to be growing out of that completely at some point. I do see that coming down the road. But if you're a Libra who likes to have an occasional glass of wine, no judgments here, but if you like to have, you know, the occasional something, just be a little bit more careful here in the short term. I feel like you would be more affected by something than normal. Okay. So if you do like to have that occasional thing, just be careful there. Oh, thank you, Nessa. Thank you so much. I'm glad you swung by and said hi in the chat. Yeah, I just, you know, I'm 50 now, so I have been through, you know, so many years of my life, like working like or trying to be somebody else's style. And I feel like I've just figured it out at 50 and started like a whole new life over, you know, just being me and unapologetically, authentically me. And so I really appreciate your sweet, sweet comment. I received that with love and I appreciate that so much. Okay, let's get back to Libra here. Libra. Okay, so you have a unique opportunity right now. If you were here for the first part of the live, we did talk about the Sabian symbols for the major transit that's going on today as we speak. The Saturn in Aries at 5 degrees, sextiling Pluto in Aquarius at 5 degrees. And we did the Sabian symbols and they had to do with ancestry. And Libra, you're the first one today getting the ancestral card. Oh yes, I'll show my earrings again, Nessa, because I took them off and showed them again. They are hematite. So that's the little stones are the hematite for grounding. And the bigger ones are sunstone. Yes, and I kind of told the story about them earlier. So if you get a chance to watch the replay, you can hear about those. But yes, I love these earrings so much. And they're very mutable. They go with different outfits. I like things I can, you know, pair together. And, you know, I don't have like the hugest wardrobe. So I like using like accessories to kind of blend and, you know, do different things, and you can wear them up or wear them, you know, dress them up or dress them down. I like that. I like multi-purpose fashion. I'm not known to be super like on the pulse of fashion, but with my Libra daughter, you know, she's very on like, oh, this is the new makeup trend, mom, and this is that. And so I have a feeling I'll be getting fancier because Libra, I feel like, is a fancy energy too. As my daughter ages, she'll teach me more and more about fashion and fanciness. I think Libra has good taste. They just do. They have a fine eye for things. So do I have any Libras out there? Nessa, what's your sign? Let us know. I know we might have done some that some of you missed a few of them, but we've done Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. We're on Libra. Next up is Scorpio, then Saggy, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. We're going through the astrological wheel. But Libra, you got the ancestral card. According to me, this is my style. The Nine of Wands, oh gosh, it has us a bit cautious because there's patterns. There's patterns of where we came from behind us, our ancestors. You know, in our blood and in our soul codes, we remember we have memory, we have soul memory of things that happened. We don't even understand how we know things so potently sometimes. But the Nine of Wands is transformative. So Libra, you may be really feeling like you're transforming family patterns right now, ancestral patterns. I really love that you're wearing the yellow tunic. To me, that is, you know, that beautiful soul essence that cradles the heart, that third chakra energy of the solar plexus. And I think you're really taking up responsibility for transmuting, transitioning, transforming some of the ancestral patterns. Now, I'll also mention this is a number 9. The Hermit card was number 9. So I'm kind of feeling a connection there. Some of you may have just kind of been secluding yourself a little bit or going into a little bit of solitude in order to embody this power and wisdom. You know, fixing and healing ancestral patterns and getting the wheel turning for your whole ancestry in a positive way, especially if you're a star seed. We talked about star seeds earlier, remember, in the oracle reading? All right, because when you're a star seed, you understand that you have an incarnational family and you understand you have a soul family. And this is coming up for some of you Libras here. So some of you may be star seeds. You might not even know that you are, but you kind of have this extra access to the wisdom of understanding, you know, this is my incarnational family and I understand the patterns here and I understand my role in transforming those so that future generations and offspring, and you know, like the 7th generation principle where you're leaving something for the better here. You are, Libra, what I'm showing is you're responsible for turning the wheel, and you'll see why I say that in a minute, in a more positive way for your ancestry. This is really coming up for you right now. In fact, and if you're dealing with a Libra and they need a little solitude, don't bother them. Let them sort through it. Let them get in their balance, okay? So if you're dealing with a Libra, if you're cross-watching, just give them a minute. They're not going to stay there forever, but they are working on something. Now, what I love is that Libra is really connected with the Page of Pentacles to the imagination of a new earth, a new world. Like, gosh, we get so bombarded every day with like constant like mental like pressure and social media and the scrolling and the everything, which is very active, it's very exciting, but sometimes it takes us away from the creative potential. And I feel like with the Page of Pentacles, Libra's really connecting back in. The page is very youthful, and it can represent a card of inexperience, but for Libra, I'm feeling like you're really engaged with your imagination here, okay? And this is nice because we still have right now Mercury and Mars in Pisces. Oh my gosh, Libra, you're really moving the energies. So we have Mercury and Mars still in Pisces, which for some of us, it's felt like, oh, I'm so stuck, all this, that, and the other. But Libra, it feels like you're taking advantage of this from the perspective of Pisces is also representative of the imagination. It's dreaming into life, a better world. And I feel, Libra, you're really connected with this energy. You're able to hold this energy. You're able to stay positive. So this is important, even when you're feeling like you need to pull away and kind of prepare and just make sure you're really aware of what's come before you and where you want to go. This energy is worth it. So you do what you need to do, Libra. You take the time that you need to take. And if, you know, you need to be left alone, you may have to set a boundary or two there. This is precious energy you're dealing with because it's the heavy work of the ancestry with the imagination and envisioning of that beautiful world that you want to create, that there's not enough of that right now. So you're trying to move and turn the wheel in that direction. And I feel like too, you know, Cancer got the good luck card, the 4-leaf clover, as their oracle card. So I'm just going to say that if you have Cancer placements too, check that out. You got the Wheel of Fortune. Like I said, you're going to turn the wheel. Not, first of all, you're the sign that gets into balance first and then turns the wheel. You don't try to turn the wheel all cattywampus and when your energies are off. When you start moving, when you come out of that solitude and you start bringing your visions to life, what you're putting out in the world is going to get the wheel moving in a really nice direction. Now, earlier we were talking, if any of you have the fixed signed energies as well. So our fixed signs are Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. Okay, or you're a Libra that's relating to one of those signs. They're gonna see you moving. Okay. Or you're going to see a different aspect of yourself. You may even surprise yourself, Leo. Not Leo. Why did I say Leo? Because I just said Leo. Libra. You may even surprise yourself. Maybe Leo is going to surprise themselves too. It looked like they were having a little bit of a rough time with it, but you may surprise yourself, Libra, here. You may even notice a version, an aspect of yourself. And you know what else I got for you, Libra, is that some of you are you're manifesting something and all of a sudden it's going to be manifested. You'd be like, what? It happened. Like in a good way, because it feels like your energies are balanced here. And also credit to you for doing some of the hard work there. You took up the helm of doing some of that hard ancestral work, which is important. All right. And never forget this, Libra. You have support. This comes from the Fairy Dust Oracle. There is always help around. When you ask, it can be found. So this tells me you might be taking a little solitude, but when you come out, like, and you're ready to talk about things again, I think you're going to have a supportive reception. And it's because you are bringing in a fresh new energy that is based on the foundation of balance, okay, and stability, which is beautiful. Like you're bringing stability to the instability. And you're making it look nice. It's appealing to others. So Libra, it might be a really good time for you to, if you're working on manifesting and attracting, a really good time for you to put yourself out there. Okay, so maybe you've been in solitude and maybe here in the next week or two, you'll be ready to come out and launch something or do something or go for something. Okay, so it's coming. Nessa says Aquarius, and I feel Leo vibes every now and again. Maybe that's why I said Leo too. Okay, so we've got Scorpio up next, and then Sagittarius, and then Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Do I have any Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising still on with me? I know some of you are listening, working and lurking, or doing something as we go, but let's get into the depths of the Scorpio energies here. We have the Death card as the card. Now, Scorpio is kind of like, you know, it's funny because I think people that aren't Scorpios or that don't carry a lot of Scorpio energy might be like, oh, they got the Death card. Oh no, but Scorpio is like really happy to have this because it is that esoteric. It's the mystery, okay? The mystery. I mean, life, we can see, we can experience, right? Death is a big question mark. Yep, there's some things we might know, but there's also a lot we don't know. And Scorpio thrives on that, of working their way through, figuring things out, working their way through the mystery, through the library, the true library archives, okay? That's what Scorpio is going to go deep down and find the ancient stuff out of the archives. They're actually, I mean, Virgo's a great researcher, but I believe Scorpios are also really in-depth researchers, very good at research. But this is also about cycles, okay? And being a water sign, Scorpio, I really like the water energy with death because it's about cycles. Death and rebirth are two sides of the same coin, right? So to experience death, which, you know, I've even heard when we talk about every night when our mind goes from conscious and we fall asleep and we go into that REM state and go into those deep waves and we go into the subconscious, unconscious, it's like a death. And when we wake back up in the morning in our conscious mind, it's a rebirth. And so, you know, Scorpio, you may be having some really powerful dreams, or you're a powerful dreamer. You have very lucid dreaming experiences. Okay, I'm getting astral projection for some of you, being able, remote viewing. We're going in there, Scorpio. We're going in there. Karen says, I'm still here, but I'm painting. I had a break waiting for it to dry. Oh, wonderful. I love that you paint while you listen. That's so beautiful. Beautiful energy. So yeah, let me know, Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and North Node, if you're out there, if you're feeling this depth. Are you feeling this maybe even just ability to cycle through death and rebirth? You now, Scorpio, of all the signs that I've read for so far today, you have the most major arcana energy coming up for you here, okay? You got two major arcana cards, but first, Scorpio, I want to ground you in with a reassurance around your emotional state. You got the Queen of Cups. I feel like your emotional state right now is looking really good. You're in the feminine mastery of the element. You're extremely reflective right now. And I've talked a little bit in this session today about human design. If you happen to be one of those people who is a reflector in the human design and you're a Scorpio, okay, this message might hold more potency. But even if you're not a reflector, because that is a little bit more rare to encounter those people, you'll know when you meet them because they're kind of like instant mirrors. This could be you taking the time to, and you don't want me to say the word mirror. It's not mirroring. You're taking the time to sort through the subtle energies and the subtle reflections. So I'm almost feeling it. And this is I'm having a very experiential kind of vibe with your energy, where I'm seeing like water flowing like over you, like almost like a river, a rippling brook or a river. And I see you, Scorpio, like in that water, and you're picking up on the subtle energies of the water, whereas somebody else might be observing the water from the outside looking in. You might be, especially those of you Scorpios that are emotional, you hold space emotionally, like your emotional intelligence feels very good to me right now. You're picking up on a lot of energies. If you're a healer or a therapist or anything like that, you are on point. I feel like you're picking up very good information in the energies. You're able to get into those subtle layers and help people that way. You're definitely in your element here. Scorpio thinks I challenge them. You know, but I think Scorpios too, they might thrive on that challenge, because it can kind of, so if you're like a reflector energy for a Scorpio, you can help them go deeper. They might get a little frustrated, a little snappy at first, a little stingy, but that could be a really good thing, Nessa, I think. We keep being told we are being reflected, but it's stuff from 26 years ago. TJDZW. It's boring and senseless. And And you'd have to tell me kind of the energies. What I'm thinking of, TJD, when you put your comment is I was thinking of that Virgo energy of like walking away from that Eight of Cups energy. And, you know, Scorpio energy, what I'm picking up, there's nothing boring or senseless about it, even in the subtle energies. So I don't know, maybe clarify your comment. I'm not exactly sure where you're coming from. So life in prison, Yaris. What do you mean by that? Life in prison. Are you in prison? I don't know how you get on a YouTube live, but maybe you do. Internet access. Let me know. Okay, but let me, you know, Nessa, we're all still learning. Yeah, we're all still learning. You know, I talk about that in my archival library, my audio library. And I talk about the Fool first, the 0 point, you know, the courage and bravery to even come here and face everything, right? And then the Magician energy, which the Magician, a lot of people read him as like a master of the magic and manifestation, but I feel like the Magician is equally a learner because the Magician is learning to use the elements. Scorpio's current position is bringing an end to something, TJD. So maybe that's what you're feeling is this ending energy. We got the World card here. Okay. This is the end of the Major Arcana. It's the 22nd card, even though it's the number 21, right? Because we have the 0. We have the 0. Your position is you're done with something. And maybe that's the energy, TJ. I have trouble saying that. T. I'll just call you T. Maybe that's what you're really feeling there, is you are feeling the end to the boring and the senseless. And it's time to move through something, okay? How do you help a Scorpio be less controlling? That's a tough one. Karen, do you have anything to do? Okay, because like, listen, here it is. Like a Scorpio who is steeped, overly steeped in controlling energies, okay? That's fear. And yeah, it sounds like if you've got a Scorpio in your life that you need to ask a personal question about, come to my live. Come to my live on the 5th or the 19th of April. You know, that to me kind of speaks to a shadow aspect of Scorpio, someone who's holding on too tightly, too controlling out of fear, okay? Yeah, so if that's a particular person, look into it. In other words, here, Scorpio in general, for the collective, bringing an ending to something, moving through a cycle, death, rebirth, but also traveling. I love how this character in the World card floats through the wreath. They float through the portal, okay? And it's a completion. So Scorpio has learned something they need to learn. They've done something they need to do. And I feel like their cycle's coming back around here to the Magician again, to be the learner, because Scorpio is going to want to continually learn, okay? They're going to want to continually learn. But if this is Scorpio, this is like an up leveling. You're ending one cycle. This is for Scorpios who are doing the work for themselves, okay? If somebody's in fear and control, they obviously might struggle to do this. But Scorpio's looking like a really powerful ending and a rebirth into the cycle again. Remember I said they're in their element, which looks good here. J Love says, I used to lucid dream and have out-of-body experiences, but when I moved 12 or so years ago, it stopped overnight. I wish I could do it again. That kind of makes me feel like, J Love, like maybe looking into astrocartography, which shows the astrology of different places in the world and where your certain energies line up the best. So like you might have like a soul line or a heart line, and where you were more connected. Maybe you were closer to some like physical vortexes, right? So check out astrocartography. I do not have a website for that. I need to get one, but you could do it for free. You just type in free astrocartography chart. Like I found out that like the Hawaiian Islands are right in between two powerful lines for me, and I love the Hawaiian Islands. I love going there. I could live there for sure, right? So yeah, just a reminder, like, no, I'm not doing personal readings right now. I will pick up on energies and respond to comments as I feel they play into the collective energy, but I do have live Q&A for my subscribers. So be sure you're subscribed, because the next one is on April 5th, Sunday, April 5th. So you got to wait just a little while. Got to be patient. 7 to 8 p.m. Central here on the channel, okay? And then there's another one 2 weeks later. It's every other Sunday night. It's a power-packed hour, so come in closer to the 7 o'clock hour, and that's Central Time. Drop your question in, and we'll see if we can help you out there. But yeah, yeah. So, you know, Scorpio is feeling to me like they are experiencing a total rebirth, reset, new part of the cycle, but on a grand scale here, okay? And it sounds like some of you are really dealing with Scorpio energies. I see that in the comments here. I see, T, that you're worried about a Scorpio psychologist. Come and ask the question. You know, I'd also ask you to trust your own intuition. What is your sign? Listen to the messages for your sign, sun, moon, rising, and north node, because that's how I read. I read for those 4 placements. Listen to your sign's readings, because that might reveal something for you. Virgo also gave us an extra message today about being aware of deception and scams and stuff like that. So check out the Virgo reading. Everything will be on the replay when the live is over. It'll be back up again. And then as soon as it processes, I'll add the timestamps. Karen said, the world looks almost like a mirror to me today, like seeing the picture of completion when seeing your reflection. Like job well done, seeing the progress. Yeah, I definitely feel like Scorpio energy, and your Scorpio sun is connected to that. Seeing the progress, passing through, you know, I'm kind of reminded of, I'm an 80s kid, so the Never Ending Story, and Atreyu has to pass through that black mirror gate, right? And has to go through, but he has to face himself like first, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, that's the kind of energy I feel with Scorpio right now. And I like how you put it, seeing the progress there. And then I've got Karen Good. Hello, Karen Good. Got 2 Karens now. I'm a Sag who had words with a Scorpio. Well, Sagittarius is up next. Stay tuned. Sagittarius is up next. She told her adult children about our argument, my nieces and nephews, and the 3 triangulated. Whew. Usually I would try to work it out. This time I chose myself. Yeah, and that's really connected to that Sabian symbol that I talked about in the oracle messages that I did earlier. One of the Sabian symbols for this Saturn and Aries transit, this sextiling Pluto and Aquarius, is a triangle with wings. And that would be, you would uplift yourself out of that situation, right? Yeah. Yeah, and it's okay. I understand, like some of you, I love that you're making personal connections to things that you're hearing, and that's good. I'm just not doing like personal readings today. I have a Sunday, every other Sunday night special for that, for our subscribers, you know, for creator subscribers. And that's kind of how I give back, you know, to the community. But today's messages, while they are collective, you can kind of sense sometimes like, oh, there's something in that for me. That's usually how the energy works. So it might feel personal at times. And then there might be other parts of the message you're like, oh, that's not really the situation. So just trust your intuition. P20 Steph is a Virgo. Yeah, Virgo, I really loved the Virgo reading today. I really loved like how they kind of positioned the final message to be in service, like to kind of help give people a heads up on things. It was really beautiful. Kind of that natural Virgo, loves to serve others and see others be happy kind of energy. It was really nice. Karen Keener says, this world card really fits. I'm doing an herbal hormone reboot and it is upsetting the stuckness I have been feeling for years with my health. Oh man, yeah, that's a big one. So it's going to be really interesting to see how you embrace and embody your magic and how you use the tools differently when you pass through this, for sure. J Love says, my favorite movie, The Neverending Story. I'm a 70s child. Yeah, I was born in the 70s, but it was like my childhood was mostly in the 80s. So all those 80s Goonies and like Neverending Story, The Dark Crystal. That's my happy place. Karen Good said, it was my third time being triangulated by someone with a mother wound. This time I let go. Good. Put on those wings. Get out of there. I think people think Saggies are always friendly. I don't. I don't. I know Sagittarius can come with a little bit of snappiness when they want to. But yeah, and Karen Good, you got to look at your whole chart too. You got to look at your sun, moon, rising, and north node, especially for my readings. That's a really good starting point. But yeah, that's like fire and water kind of clashing there, you know. And Sagittarius is the fire magician. Scorpio is the water magician. So there are just times when those elements struggle, you know, to coexist. Now, like some of you may have too, you want to look at your chart. Are you close to the cusp of Scorpio and Saggy? Because I have my north node is on the cusp. And so it's been a little interesting to navigate that when those energies clash. But yeah, I mean, I would hate to see anybody, like, if you're in a situation where you're being beat down and pushed around, you know, you're the one that has to grow those wings and fly out of that, right? That triangulation that you're mentioning, because it feels like a lockdown, like a prison, right? So you got to get out of there. Yeah. Boundaries. Yeah. We'll look for that too. We can look for that as we go. I think the Seven of Wands is a good boundary card. That might be a good one to work with, the Seven of Wands, especially for a Sagittarius, you know, working with that fiery energy. Yeah, because Sagittarius, you love to be adventurous, and we'll get to you. We're like Saggy and Scorpio are now mingling together here. But let me finish up Scorpio. Yeah, I'll explain a little bit about the wing thing in the Sagittarius reading. Good morning from Australia. Okay, I have been hearing that song. I come from a land down under. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Multiple, like an unusual amount of hearing that song lately, like where it's got my attention, like repeating numbers, right? So good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Creators on the Crest up here. And we're over in the Northern Hemisphere going into the spring season. Happy autumnal equinox to you. Oh gosh, it's on my bucket list. Australia and New Zealand are on my bucket list. I almost want to take like a half a year just to like explore there. So I'm so glad you found me here. And yeah, I hope you can hang out and enjoy the content here. So good to see people from other countries and speak with people from other countries and see what the vibe is like in these other places, and see how things are going. And gosh, this is another thing that kind of came up today, because at the very beginning, and I know Scorpio, thank you, Scorpio, you're letting me like tangent here for a minute, but a few days ago, my family lost a family friend, and he was 55. He had kids of his own, loving father, you know, but he was a pilot, had been a pilot for decades, a lot of experience, and he died in a private plane crash. We don't know exactly the details of it yet. The FAA has to look into it and take apart the plane and try to figure out what's going on. But I mean, we're talking about someone who was such a skilled pilot. He had survived 13 plus engine outs and been able to land the plane successfully. And I guess, you know, maybe it was just his time. But I was thinking about, like, I thought about him, and I've been reflecting on him, obviously, because he was part of my kid's life too. And I thought he died, like, he went out doing what he loved. He loved to fly. And it makes me emotional, because then I went into this emotional, and I'm a Cancer, sorry. I went into this emotional rabbit hole where I was thinking about Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, and how I was like upset when he died. But there was this powerful like thing about, he was doing his passion. He was doing what he loved when he died. And like, I, at the time when Steve Irwin passed, I was like in this like soul killing corporate job, right? And I was just like, if I'm gonna die, which Scorpio tells us we all are, I want to go out doing what I love, you know? Now, maybe I won't actively be doing it in the moment. Like some passions are very active, like flying a plane or, you know, driving a car or something like that. But, you know, maybe, you know, I mean, I don't want to like go out while I'm pulling cards, right? I'm not saying that, but I want to be doing what I love when I transition out of the world. That's my point. So it's like, if I'm gonna live here, right? I want to be doing what I love, not something that's like killing my soul, that I'm doing for like, you know, reasons that don't have anything to do with life and health and all of this stuff, right? And I know a lot of people are still trapped in those systems where you feel like you have to do something you don't really want to, but you feel like you have to, right? And I remember making the decision when Steve, my whole point in all this was, because all of this has come up in the last 24 hours, is that these people that I've known, whether they're, you know, a celebrity that I didn't know personally, but I knew of, right? Or someone close to us, they were living their passion, literally living their passion as they went out of the world, right? And to me, that just like really hit me in the heart and the gut. You know, I really feel that. Let me read some of your comments here, and then we've really tangent in here. It's going to look like on the timestamps like Scorpio's reading is so much longer than everybody else, but you guys just bringing up good things, bringing up really good conversation. Virgo got the extra card. Yep. Oh, good. Karen, good. We'd love to have you here. Yeah, I'll try to come back to the triangle with wings, but it's a Sabian symbol. If I forget to come back to it, because we still have a lot of energies to cover. Dark crystal, yes. 1972. I'm 75, Jay. Oh, and your daughter was born 4 days after your 20th birthday. Oh, 2 Saggies? Is that right? Oh, we got the Gen X showing up. Yes, I want to visit Australia. It's on there. I'm manifesting that. Trip to Australia one day. I want to spend some time there, though, and get to know the people. Oh, thanks, Rach. Very sweet. Aussie legend. Yeah, I remember. So I was traveling. I happened to be in Ireland. This was in 1999, I think. Okay, we're going back. Right before the turn of the millennia, and I met 2 Australian guys with my friend. I was with my friend, and we met 2 Australian guys, and we're like, well, what do you guys think of like Steve Irwin? You know, because as Americans, we're like, that's what we think Australia. That's what we were thinking of, kangaroos and Steve Irwin, right? They just thought he was mad. They're like, oh, those kangaroos are mean. Like they'll like box you, and they're like, he just gets right up next to him, you know, like they thought he was crazy, kind of a little off his rocker. I remember, because I was like, you know, we were just seeing the show, of course, you know, but yeah, it kind of rocked people, you know. That was hard. That was a hard loss there. But he loved, like it exuded out of Steve Irwin that he loved doing what he did. I mean, you know, yes, it was a show. Yes, it was on TV, but okay, you don't wrestle crocodiles unless you love, you know, in a very like I think he was very environmental, like he wanted the right ecosystems for the creatures. Don't forget the drop bears. They are super dangerous. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I thought he was brave too. I was like, wow. But I also thought like he's studied and he knows what he's doing, but nature is still wild, right? And in the end, I mean, I just, and when he got, my understanding, unless I'm mistaken, the alpha stingray or whatever it was that killed him, it like hit his heart, like it went right to his heart. It was like instant. So he would die doing what he loved, like with a straight shock to the heart. I mean, that just like, I'm like, that got my attention. That got my attention, right? Yeah, sometimes, and I love that, Karen Keener, we take the beauty, like these people's, transition into the death and rebirth cycle. It like makes me have a greater appreciation for my life. And I think we can say that of death a lot. And I think the Scorpio energy is really good at connecting with that. But also it's, it's changing. It changes us. It inspires us in a way to kind of look at how we live, right? And I think that's the gift. That's the gift of death, is it helps us look at how to live if we can be tuned in with those messages. Oh, Girl Gone, I'm sorry to hear you've been sick. Hi, good to see you. I am pulling a final oracle card. We've been kind of tangenting on some things during the Scorpio reading, but you know how Scorpio likes to go deep here. Sagittarius has been patiently waiting, which they're not known for their patience. So thank you, Sagittarius. One final message for Scorpio. You got fairy wings. Ooh, and maybe that's that subtle energy. I was really feeling you being able to pick up on those little subtle vibrations. In the forest, small lights glow. These are fairies flying low. Yeah, Scorpio, your ability. Let me just close off by propping Scorpio up to say your ability to pick up subtle energies and exit a cycle and enter a new cycle. Your up leveling is really coming through today, Scorpio. So thank you for allowing us to go into other things. Under the weather, sad, yes. And that has come up in a few of the readings today. So remember everyone, today when I read, we got Sagittarius coming up next here. Okay, when I read for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your north node. But if there's other planets and you have transits and things going on, you can definitely look at those readings too. You can also cross watch for someone that might be in your life. And we've got Sagittarius, who has been super patient. Thank you. Also Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are up next. But Sagittarius, the Temperance card. The Temperance card, a card of being able to work with your magic in a way that is very alchemical, okay? And I'm really feeling alchemy for you Sagittariuses today. You're using your fire magic to alchemize, okay? And what's interesting is in the card, first of all, we have a triangle with wings. There's that is also the Sabian symbol for the transit today of Saturn and Aries at 5 degrees, sextiling Pluto. The Sabian symbol for Saturn and Aries, 5 degrees, is a triangle with wings. Temperance energy, and Karen Good was talking about letting go, being in a situation where she kind of had to take flight. And she was dealing with water energy, a Scorpio, right? And anytime you're dealing with someone that's in not in the elevated energies, or they're not doing the real work on themselves, they like to engage in drama and fighting and, just nonsense. Oh yeah, you got to protect your energy, right? You got to get away. You got to fly away from that triangulation, right? So, and maybe girl gone for you. Maybe that's, you know, feeling sad. It's like, you've been in a bit of that, been trapped in a bit of that triangle of sadness, right? For several of the messages, we see that that is the case for some of the signs. And we also see that people are going to come out of that. You're going to be coming or have an opportunity to come out of it. So I hope that's the case for you. I hope you're feeling happier. A lot of people have been messaging me and feeling like they're stuck or feeling like things are kind of sluggish or slowed down, and that can create that melancholy feeling, that sadness. But let's look at how Sagittarius is handling this, okay? Maybe there'll be some good messages in here for breaking out and flying away and letting go. We've got that full moon coming up, that full moon in Libra, finding our balance again. What is up for our Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and North Node tribes, though? Your temperance, your patience, your ability to work with the elemental energies. Being a fire sign, like I kind of imagine the wings and the triangle being the fire that transforms you, but you've got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on earth. And like Libra, you have the ability to balance the energies, particularly when it comes to your own goals or helping others achieve their goals. And I'm feeling that for some of you. Some of you are gifted at helping others along the path to achieve their goals. J Love says, I would love to be able to fly. Me too. I do fly in my dreams. Does anybody else have flying dreams, like where you're flying? In various forms. Sometimes I defy gravity and I float and I fly. Sometimes I have like a jetpack. I have all kinds of things going on. Wow. Sagittarius and Scorpio, I do think there's connections to your energy right now. Ooh, Sagittarius just had to outdo Scorpio a little by getting all 3 cards that I pulled for you are Major Arcana cards, okay? So some of you, again, might be on the Sagittarius-Scorpio cusp, Scorpio-Sagittarius cusp, because you got the Death card. And maybe this is why Karen Good bumped into that issue with her Scorpio, because there's a lot of commingling energies right now. You got the Death card. With what I'm seeing here, though, you also, Sagittarius, are up upon like a rebirth, an up-leveling. And what's cool about what I'm seeing in your energy and why I think I was getting the connection to Libra is you got the High Priestess. She guards the gate to the Garden of Eden, all right? And she holds the knowledge and wisdom, and she is like, you know how in, in Christianity, they say like, is it Peter who guards the gates to heaven? In that way, whatever spirituality or religion you look at, the High Priestess is also that sort of archetype, because she's protecting something, because she has the wisdom to know that it's worth protecting. And she's got the book here. I consider that to be the book of life, or like the Akashic records. So some of you Sagittarians may be connected with your Akashic records. But what's nice about your energy, your fire energy is going through this cycle. So if you're a Sagittarius, you've been like, oh, kind of maybe going through growing pains. I kind of feel like growing pains here for you. And going through this death cycle. And maybe having to work with the water element a little bit more than you're comfortable with, processing emotional energies. There's something bigger and grander here that is lining up for you. And you're going to be bringing this fire energy to the world. The Sun, the happiest card in the deck. First of all, Sagittarius, you're on the cusp of bringing something into the world that is very happy and illuminated and very beautiful. Look, the cherub rides on the fire horse. We're in the year of the fire horse. The Death character also rides on a horse here. So you're very much in tune. The horse energy and wisdom and knowledge. Horses are so intelligent and so intuitive. That is coming up as a totem for you, Sagittarius. You're definitely on the path this year to illuminating something. And some of you might underestimate, but you might be very gifted in helping others with this. Okay. Now, sometimes, like the example we heard of earlier, sometimes it's kind of like you help others by letting them go. Maybe you tried to gift your magic and your temperance energy, Sagittarius, to someone and they didn't receive it well, and you had to step back and let it go. But major time of shift for you here. And I feel like this Saturn Pluto sextile that we're having at 5 degrees of Aries and Aquarius, check Sagittarius, check where that's up for you, or what's going on next to that, because I feel like that's where you're going to be feeling the energies. But to progress from transformation to high guarded wisdom, protection, and boundaries into happiness is looking like a darn good path for you. Things are looking really good for you, Sagittarius. I'm loving the energies, and they're big, you know. There's kind of like some of you may be going through like a rite of passage. Okay. Any of you that are what is it, 28 and 66, you might be those ages too. Saturn return while we have these Saturn transits. Yeah. Wow, things are being cleared for you though. Let me get you a fairy dust oracle. Saggy, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, lots of love for you, girl gone, and support to hope you feel better soon. Connected to the elements. Yeah, me too, Jay. I love connecting in and learning and deepening my practice with the elements. Boundaries. Yes, Karen. Guarding the gate, the boundaries. Absolutely. And lots of love. I love how you're supporting each other, everyone. That's so nice. That's so kind. Sagittarius. So remember this sun energy that I'm showing you in the horse, and it's the fire horse, year of the fire horse. I feel like, man, by your season, like these major arcana energies, I kind of feel like you're the sign today that got like the energies that are gonna like go the farthest this year as far as like longer term energies, like your messages today. So this is an important year for you. You got music, and I feel like music is a great way to like transform and bring joy and happiness. And it says fairies dance in the green hollow, where music plays, joy will follow. So if you're a Sagittarius and a musician, this is also like a doubly important message for you. Fairies dance in the green hollow, where music plays, joy will follow. And that may be one of the ways that you experience joy or share joy as well. Like I said, some of you are very gifted. And if you definitely are gifted in a way, a talent, a gift, you know, that hasn't been expressed, it's time to express it. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Capricorn energy up next. Jay, you are an artist. I love it. We have a lot of artists that gravitate to this channel, to Creators on the Crest. We've got Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. All right. This is a long frequency Friday, but we're having a good time and we're really getting into these energies for each sign. All right. So Capricorn is also, remember how I said Scorpio is the death card, and it's like, oh, you know, but Scorpio doesn't have a problem with that. And likewise for Capricorn. Capricorn gets what my daughter calls the big baddie here, the devil card, all right? And of course, this card is the one I really like, oh, I don't want to, you know, oh, that's not a good one, and scary, scary, scary. But for Capricorn is also able to hold a very true and authentic vibe of no nonsense, okay? Don't try to nonsense a Capricorn. They don't like that. They don't like that kind of thing, okay? They're like a no BS, their BS detectors are on. The devil card energy is something that Capricorn is able to grind through and transform, maybe even better. So it's controlling energies. It's the ways we allow ourselves. These chains are loose. They could take them off anytime. These chains are loose. But it's the way we bind ourselves and lose ourselves into the patterns of control. And Capricorns have a unique way of being able to grind through that. They're the earth movers of the zodiac. They can grind through some of these earth energies. They can work on something. They can work like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then they still got energy, where like the Taurus moon and me and the rest of us are like laid out and burn out, and they can just wake up and do it all again the next day. They can grind through these energies. Okay. Now, yes, this is about the ego. Yes, this is about control, right? And that's what we learn from it. But if we can utilize the earth, which is what Capricorn energies do, they utilize Mother Earth, the planet, and the earth energies to in like a harmony and to transcend some of the energies that come up in this card. And this is our number 15 card, the Devil card. And it has a connection with the Lover's card, number 6. It kind of has a reflection, but this kind of the shadow reflection. Capricorns in their shadow will sometimes get trapped in the lower energies. And for me as a reader, like, I'm not sure if this is how this black monolith was really intended, but this reminds me a lot of a cell phone. It reminds me a lot of a television screen, right? It can mean bondage to things in the lower astral energies. But Capricorn, who is doing the work, who is healing themselves, and I mean the great work, you know, they're working on their spiritual maturity. They can really grind through these energies. They can sniff it out, okay? And they may not even let you know they know, okay? But remember, they're the opposite of Cancer, but they're just as intuitive. I think that people don't always see that in them, but they are very intuitive, and a Capricorn who's really in great energy, they will ask you important questions. So if Capricorn, if you're like bouncing ideas around and they ask you questions, write their questions down, reflect on their questions, because they are looking at how to carve that out in reality. And so that Capricorn energy, that Devil card is so important for that, right? Because they're able to navigate and kind of grind through some of the stuff that the other signs might struggle with a little bit. So if you have some Capricorn energy in your chart, see if you can help that work to your advantage. All right, and here it is. And they're talking about boundaries. Capricorn's going through some boundaries. Oh, and they're very clear on this too. It might, like, if you want to be told straight up what something is, no beating around the bush, no pussyfooting. It's looking like Capricorn is in the mood right now to have these conversations, okay? They are not messing around. They're all about boundaries here, okay? Here's that Seven of Wands card. Here's that boundaries card coming through the Earth Magician of Capricorn here. This is how Capricorn's working with the Aries energy right now, the fiery energy. I really feel like for you as a Capricorn, those of you sun, moon, rising, and north nodes, you're really taking into account where you're going to put your energy. You're definitely not liking everything you see down here. Okay? Ooh, yes. And you are willing to fight if you have to. You don't want to. Oh my gosh. Now I'm burping like crazy. Capricorn, your energy. Oh man, you do not want to fight, but if you have to, you will. And I guess people better watch out for that. But if you are someone and you know a Capricorn and they're a healthy, balanced person you can talk to, okay? We want to make sure like it's a healthy person. They'd be a good person to talk to right now, because they're going to be able to help you see also what might be coming at you that doesn't look so great. All right. So this is about boundaries, but also notice that the character here has the high ground, and they're able, it seems like Capricorn, you're either, if you're a Capricorn, you're in a good place to be able to navigate these energies right now. Okay. Because you know what you're dedicated to, you know what you're connected to, and you see the playing field for what it is. So you're very like direct and truth telling on this. Okay. And you're either, you've got that going on for yourself, or you're a really great sounding board. Or those of you that work with other people, you're really good energy for other people to kind of break through and get down to the nitty gritty. Okay? Like Capricorn doesn't avoid the dirt. They don't avoid that getting dirty. They'll get down in there. And it's beautiful because you're really bringing clarity to something here. So something's becoming clear to you, Capricorn, in your own life. You're really getting to the point, okay? Now, if you want to just go on in some la land with all the past Pisces energy we've just been through and you don't really want to know, don't talk to the Capricorn. But if you want to know and you're brave and you have, go to the Capricorn, because right now they are truth-telling, sword-wielding mastery. They are going to tell you exactly the truth. And same for the conversations with yourself, Capricorn. You're going to be real honest with yourself right now. It looks like an honest, and you're going to put to an end what needs to end. You are ready to get on the move. You're not going to stick around for these lower energies here that might be interfering with your purpose and your mission, your divine mission here. So you got a cycle closing out here too, Capricorn. You're also another cardinal sign. You want to start something up, but you want it on truth. You are really, 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 Capricorn, highlighting the truth here. And this is beautiful because I feel like this could be our more rebellious energies that we see globally, like rebellion and like, I don't propose violence at all, ever. I always am about peaceful resolutions. But also Capricorn feels like the kind of energy right now that they're in a position to say, no more. We're not going to do it that way anymore. To kind of these inverted ways that the world's been operating with violence and torture and lies and deceit. All of that has come into the surface. We've had the astrology, as within, so without, where we know there's been a lot revealed, and Capricorn just seems like they're in a really good, this could also represent whistleblower energy for some Capricorns out there. If you're in that position, you may not want to admit that right online, but some of you could be like really having a good grasp. And like I said, there's just no nonsense here today. Capricorn is letting us know they're grinding through, they're grinding it up. Remember, but they're using the earth, and the earth is a powerful transformational field. That's the shamanic energy. I'm feeling the shaman energy for you. Capricorn has a way, they work in the present moment. So we got that card in the Oracle message about experiencing life as it comes, meeting it head on. That's Capricorn right now. No bones about it. All right, let's get them, you Capricorns out there, Fairy Dust Oracle. I don't have a lot of Capricorn in my chart, so that's why I say them. I'm like, woo. Oh, Cappy, you are being reminded to get good rest. The fairies are saying sleep. Underneath the nighttime skies, fairies sing you lullabies, okay? So as much as you're going from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then coming home, making dinner, doing all the things, and getting up and doing it all again the next day, make sure that you're getting that powerful, rejuvenating, positive REM sleep. Underneath the nighttime skies, fairies sing you lullabies. My partner, he can go on 5 hours of deep REM sleep, wake up, woo, yeah, I'm ready to go. Jason, he just goes. He wakes up, he makes coffee, he's happy. Me, I need like 9 hours, because I need like a couple hours on either side to try to get to sleep, because Karen brought this up, hormones are like going crazy, right? But Cappy, whatever amount of sleep you need, just make sure you're getting it. I know we're all a little bit different with that, but don't deprive yourself of sleep. Or maybe Cappy needs a nap. Cap needs a nap. Cappy needs a nappy. All right, might need that. Not nappy like a diaper, like a, no, but a nap. Like a proper nap. Oh, Jay, thank you. I'm sorry you have to go. I'm so grateful you're here, though. And I'll see you next time. I'll be back next Friday. Hopefully you guys can join. I know this has been a long one. And the replay will be up. But I'm so grateful that some new people have found me today. Yes, Rach, you need sleep. Yes, you need sleep. I hope you get it. Yeah, because I know how it feels to like not get sleep, and I'm not a happy crab when I don't get sleep personally. Whew, yeah, ask anybody in my family. If I didn't sleep well, it's kind of like the whole house is off for for the next day until I actually get the rejuvenating sleep I need. But if I get that sleep, I'm good to go. Rach has a Capricorn with Leo cusp. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So yeah, go back and check out that Leo reading. Big-hearted Leo energy. Love it. Love it. Love it. We're on to Aquarius next. So Aquarius, you're up next. And your card, and this is like, whew, it kind of it kind of makes sense in the way that the energy of the readings have gone today in relationship to some of the other signs. Like we just talked about Capricorn and grinding through, and we looked at that Temperance card, which the star card for you, Aquarius, kind of reminds me of the Temperance card in the sense one foot in the water, one like a knee down and foot on the earth here. And we've got the alchemy coming up again. But we also have wishes and hopefulness. And if Capricorn wasn't doing the work, the grinding work, it'd be harder to capture this energy of wish fulfillment and bringing something beautiful to the world and really envisioning a bright future. And Aquarius, that beautiful air mind, and we're in the age of Aquarius now. We're exiting the Kali Yuga, right? And we're coming into these new energies, and Aquarius is freedom. It's got to feel good to you Aquarians right now, being a fire horse here, and horses having to do with freedom, right? Nessa's back. Hi, Nessa. And so we're on Aquarius here. And yeah, this beautiful, I love the beautiful bright star. I'm getting the star seed vibe again for some of you star seeds out there. You bring in your brilliance and your intelligence, because Aquarius is very intelligent, but you also have that vibe like Libra, where you have really great taste. It might be a little quirkier than Libra. It might surprise people and be like just a little bit of a flair that people have to get used to, but you really have a way with like decoration and the way things look and fanciness, and it kind of reminded me of Libra in that way, that sister air sign of yours. That's coming through. I love just, I love that the character in the star card is pictured nude, because Aquarians, they're kind of like my nudist out there, like fancy free, like let's just let it go. And like, of course, that's kind of taboo, and we want the right place, the right time, we want to make sure we're all safe. We can't run around in the nude, but Aquarius energy just kind of has that. It's just kind of like, I need to be carefree. I can't be bound by clothing or restrictions or laws or things that don't make sense to me, right? So Aquarians tend to have that. They're bringing it, they're in their age now, like it's the age of Aquarius. We're in that cycle. So you may have a unique connection to that if you're an Aquarian. Aquarians can also, the star, like since I'm talking about shadows too, the stars can kind of seem like not our sun, but the ones outside our solar system can kind of seem distant and cold and like far away. And Aquarius energy can do that as well. You might be like, I can't even get a read on them. Where are they? What are they up to? What are they doing? So that Aquarius energy can sometimes not feel as warm as the sun. So they get kind of a bad rap in the memes about being cold and like, and just kind of stoic, right? And they can be. If they're not in a good mood or they just have something they need to work on, they can be. My goodness. The second half of readings here, you guys are ending cycles. Like I feel like in the last 6 months as I've been doing readings and coming live here, we've talked about the ending of cycles, but you all are really showing up in these cycles ending, and Aquarius, you're no exception. So I want to go first with the Major Arcana card you got. You got the World card, ending cycle. And I think for you, Aquarius, this has all to do with abundance. Or if you're dealing with an Aquarius, they may be very focused on things like their finances, their health, manifesting abundance for themselves right now, because they are ending a cycle of, and it almost feels like the opposite of the hopeful energy that Aquarius is. It feels like hopelessness. And I just saw 222 in the time on my live here. So the magic numbers again for you, Aquarius. So there's a little wish come true, 222. There you go. But moving through this portal, here it is again. Multiple signs have got the World card, okay? So, and I am shuffling, I am clearing, and it still comes up. We're feeling these closeouts of these cycles. And Aquarius, what's really interesting for you is you're focusing on a bright new future with finances and abundance. And what's nice about your energy is I feel that this is something you want gifted to the world. You don't just want this all for yourself, unless you're one of those Aquarians who's like a psychopath or, you know, just a greedy person, right? You want this gift for everybody. So you want it, and maybe you're wanting to teach people how to magnetize abundance and good health. Remember, abundance comes in more forms than just money. We tend to think about money, right? Only when we think about abundance coming in, but there's abundance of time where you have the time to be in your creative space, to paint, to listen to music, to be with nature, time with your family. Abundance can come in just a loving gesture from a stranger, whatever it is. Somebody could pay for your coffee in the coffee line, a pay it forward, beautiful kind of energy. Aquarius is really envisioning this. They're saying we're ending those old cycles so we can come through and anchor into this new reality. And Aquarius is saying, I want abundance for me. Yeah, but I want it for everybody else too. Aquarius is also showing us the lesson of that. So it's not that we just enter a new cycle and everything's figured out, okay? Aquarius is saying we still have to learn. We have to learn how to work with these pinnacles differently. We can't hold on to them the same way that we did before. This Four of Pentacles came up for Virgo as well. So if you have the Virgo energies, you might want to check this out. But you're thinking and feeling about your resources differently, and you're working to ground that energy. So I'm getting a little slightly different read on this card than I did for Virgo. But Aquarius says there's still some work to do. We still have to move into this new cycle, and things are still going to be sorting themselves out during the age of Aquarius, during my age. So the Aquarian energy kind of has like a leg up on this, I feel. I feel like Aquarians, you kind of maybe already even know what I'm talking about, or you have felt some of these energies already, and you're working your way through it. So you are about envisioning. And remember, our imaginations are super powerful. We're going to be getting into Pisces next. Pisces rules the imagination. Yes, it can rule illusion and fogginess too. But Aquarius is the dreamer. You know, I always think of that song, The Rainbow Connection, the lover, the dreamer in me. I think of Aquarius energy. I just think they're so, especially when they're healed, they are so good at embodying and helping others find that place of freedom. I'm also getting a bit of a sensation of like, not only do we want more abundance for ourselves and others as Aquarians, but we want an abundance of fun. We want more fun. We want to be joyful. We want to dance around the fire. Let's have some fun. Let's play the drums. Let's do something, you know? Like there's a little bit of that kind of energy just peeking through from some. So some of you might do well to get in a community group where you can have a little fun, right? And what's beautiful is with the World card here, the fairies are saying for Aquarius, release. Sometimes the only thing to do is to laugh or cry. It's up to you. So you have the freedom to process your emotional energies connected to the cycles that we are moving out of. And we are still growing through the thick of it. We're growing through. We're creating our way out of it. So Aquarius says, we're going to release it. And I'm also sensing that for Aquarians or people dealing with Aquarians, that to really pay attention to like the wind, listen to the wind. There's also a field of, you know how there's telekinesis and psychokinesis? Well, there's also aerokinesis, which is being able to move the air with your energy. So if you've been feeling stagnant, I feel like this is coming up in the Aquarius reading for a reason, because they're like an air magician and saying, don't forget to work with the air, work with the wind, maybe open some windows in your home, get some fresh air circulating, you know. A breath of fresh air is kind of what I'm really feeling from Aquarius, because we're not meant to go into another cycle just to go through suffering all over again. We've got to take the lessons we've learned and really put those into our wisdom vaults and move forward, you know, in a brand new cycle. And that's what Aquarius wants for their age. And it's going to be really interesting. I just got like a kind of a tingly little vision came in of like some of you all, your souls connected to working through this age here on Earth, and then being in another realm or something later, and being able to look back and being like, I was there during the age of Aquarius. I don't know. Some of you are really connected, really connected cosmically. So that's interesting. Starseed. It must be the starseed energy coming in. Okay, last but not least, right? We have Pisces, beautiful fishy fishes, beautiful Pisces energy, okay? We have just come out of the season of Pisces. We still have a few planets in Pisces. And like Aquarius, they have the dreamer quality, the dreamy quality. They are the rulers of imagination. But it's not always the easiest to see, right? So the card that rules Pisces in the tarot is the moon card here. Dreams, illusion. Now, on the dark side, this can be a bit of escapism. Like, I just want to escape. You know, we all have our little guilty escape pleasures, whether we're escaping through like that extra piece of chocolate, or we're watching that Netflix and binging that or something like that. We all have our little times where we do that, okay? And it happens. But Pisces also has the energies of the shaman, where we're connecting the heaven to the earth. Pisces is the 12th house energy. They're the ones that hold the ending of the cycles. Remember how we're getting the world card? Pisces holds the vision, and I'm kind of getting like, they're showing me like, I don't know, Pisces, I think it's the Pisces collective. They're showing me like a quartz crystal, like a prism, and they're showing me the light coming through and the rainbow going out like that. So that may be significant for some of you Pisces energy, but it's through transcending and learning through the shadows, through the moon energy. Remember, unless it's like a dark moon, a new moon, full moons still have a light. And I think this card coming in, the moon card, and we have a full moon in Libra coming up here. And we've got the two, kind of the portal here to pass through. And it's definitely getting nature's attention here. The natural world is responding to this moonlight energy, right? The moon reflecting the sun. Talk about reflections. I think Scorpio, we talked about that reflecting energy, also is here in Pisces, the other water sign, besides Cancer. All right, but we see that in two of our water signs here. And, you know, even we don't see the fish, but we see the little lobster here. And Cancer was also known to have been a lobster. And then reinterpreted later. So we've got all the water signs kind of congregating here in the Pisces energy. I don't know why. We'll find out. Maybe they're kind of like feeling this this energy here, this reflective energy. All right, what's up for Pisces? Pisces, sun, moon, rising, and north node. What is up for our Pisces creators right now? What do they want to express? What do they need us to know? Wow, okay. And Pisces, also fire energy coming in for you. But here's the thing. Pisces, as individuals, we've just entered, you know, Aries season, ready or not, right? Here we go. It's Aries season. It's time to move. But there's still Mars and Mercury in Pisces. And so Pisces is saying, hey, let's still take a look at some things here. I'm undecided on stuff. So for any of you Pisces or people who are dealing with Pisces, you felt like undecided, maybe I'm getting kind of that wishy-washy energy. It's just because some of the fog is still clearing, y'all. It's just become the fog is still clearing. We just need to give a chance for some of the fog to clear. And then we're going to see the ignition of the imagination and the imaginative energies of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces and you've been like, okay, yeah, I'm in my element. I deal with the dream world and the illusions, and I deal with the fogginess, and I work my way through it. I swim in the dark waters. I can do this. And you know it, and you're feeling all of it. You're relating to it through your emotions. Get ready, Pisces. You're having a breakthrough. It's going to happen really fast. It's with the fire element. You've got the 8 of Wands here. So here you are, comfortable, maybe in your moon energy. But with this Aries season, and especially I get here, Pisces, when Mercury and Mars by like April 14th, 15th, depending where you are in the world, you are actually going to be seeing things pick up for you like big time. Some of you are going to see your dreams brought into reality, Pisces. That's great. And it's going to happen fast. You may be getting an offer or a message of some kind that comes in really fast. So really pay attention. Pisces, for you, I feel like it's now, between now and between the end of April, where things are going to really take an uptick. But it's important right now for us to kind of balance out some of the remaining Pisces energies, okay? So if you are a Pisces or you're relating to a Pisces, just give it a little bit more time. Give it a little bit more time to sort out. But it's being illuminated, it's being reflected. And like I said, like there's something about light here with Pisces, like I got that prism with the rainbow. There's something to do with light energy. So fire element from the perspective of like light photons and energy. So maybe some of you are studying or working with that. And then here comes the King of Wands again, Pisces. I think you're going to do fine in this Aries season. I think by the end of Aries season, you're going to be feeling pretty well aligned, okay? Even though it's not your season anymore. I think you're catapulted into something very fast, and at first you might feel like, oh gosh, I'm still a little weebly wobbly here. This is happening though. Something is happening for you, Pisces, that's going to put you into a stronger position here with this King of Wands. It's going to put you into a transformative role here. So don't forget that. King of Wands, very powerful. And look, I love the little creatures, and I'm noticing the little gecko lizard down here, and how their ability to like rejuvenate and to move quickly, but on land instead of water, Pisces. I feel like that's you. I think it's the fish on land here. So it's looking good. It's looking really good. And I'm glad because we've gone through a great processional cycle with your energies, wrapping us up, these 12 house energies with the planets of Neptune, was in Pisces, Saturn, Venus was in Pisces, all these planets were there, and that was important. The importance of this for both Pisces and anyone relating to them, or any of us dealing with those closures, those endings, those 12th house energies. Let's see what the final fairy dust oracle says for Pisces. And my voice is almost gone, I think. But we're getting close. Pisces, be strong. When trouble seems to be brewing near, your inner strength will keep you clear. Pisces, be strong. I love it. When trouble seems to be brewing near, your inner strength will keep you clear. I think you're actually coming into this new cycle with a lot more strength. And maybe you'll be, some of you I'm seeing like weightlifting or like building the muscles in your body or something to do with muscle tone. Okay, maybe you're using light energy to help heal your body. Interesting, Pisces. Very intuitive. Very, very good. I like that energy. All right. If you're still listening, we are almost done. Just a few final reminders. Once again, the live Q&A is coming up on April 5th or the 19th from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. All the links for the good stuff is in the description. Make sure you get on the Creators on the Crest newsletter so you have access to specials and first access to things that are coming up and things I'm creating. You've got the Fire Horse Rising Temple up on my website courses, along with the Audio Archetype Library. Woo! I'm about to lose my voice. Oh my gosh. Karen is still here painting. This is why I don't normally go this long, because I will lose my voice. I'm going to have to go drink some honey tea, something with honey in it, and kind of coat my throat here, but we will do that next. And I will be back on Monday with the next Astrotarology episode, including the psychic weather forecast. So if you want to kind of stay on the pulse of what's going on, that's great to listen to. I always look at it from several aspects. I look at it from the creator community aspect and also kind of like the global public aspect as well. So we kind of look into all of that and more. And then, of course, next week, the High Priestess will be the Wednesday video that comes out. So it has been amazing to spend time with all of you today. Thanks for anyone who made it to the end here. I know we had a lot of people who had to go to sleep or do something else, and I completely understand. Appreciate all the likes and comments today. It has just been amazing. And as I always say when I end my videos, say it with me, stay tuned, stay true, and keep creating. And I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend and a great day.